Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some Full Metal Demon Muramasa. This is certainly an interesting post-credits series of scenes that seems to invalidate the ending, which is not exactly what you really want to do with a post-credit scene, unless you're setting up for a sequel. So, is this ending sequel bait? I'm not quite sure. But if you somehow missed the last minute, we decided to kill ourselves to satisfy the rule of balance for killing someone you hate, and then killed Hikaru using the added forced trigger of having to kill them to ensure that we could actually defeat her. It was very interesting, and I thought it was a solid ending to the route, although it was, a little bit sad because you don't really get the you and Muramasa holding hands ending that you'd theoretically like. I thought it worked. And then the post-credit scene comes around. And apart from having a kind of pointless mercenary group obsessed with the law of balance scene, turns out Kagieki lived. Does that mean Hikaru also lived? Feeding our purpose? Or do we just have to do lethal damage to ourselves? And if our Tsurigi can regen us, it counts as killing someone. In which case, I feel like we've killed a lot of people for very little reason. So, I hope that's brought up in a more serious tone, because otherwise, it kind of sabotages the whole and even if, that works, I feel like it still sabotages the plot. Because you dying and using your, using the kill someone you love trigger to kill Hikaru is what brought the satisfying ending to bear, right? If that didn't happen, it wouldn't have been as satisfying. And it happening but your character not dying is actually just unsatisfying because it doesn't fit with the game's tone, nor the rules the game or story has established. But let's march on. I know regret's fruitless. Instead, I should work to correct my mistakes, to bring order to the chaos that Hikaru and I wrought. But how? How do I stop 1,000 small conflicts, great and small? Do I pick sides, decide who is right, and then destroy the enemies in virtue's name? Nonsense. What difference does it make who I believe is right? Every enemy is someone's friend, and every evil someone's good. Thus, all might obeys the law of balance. Knowing this, will I go into battle claiming my cause is just? How can I? I've had my fill of self-righteousness. I mean, to be fair, when you're self-righteous, you just randomly kill people. You've had the victory of one side's justice. The victory of one side's justice only sets the stage for the next conflict and the next. True, but as I was talking about last time, if you hire a mercenary group to protect your city from 20,000 invading soldiers, and then they kill everyone in the city because they need to kill 20,000 random people, how is that? I guess the only way that clears the stage to prevent conflict is by ensuring the annihilation of one faction. That's the only way it reduces the amount of conflict in the world. It's kind of funny because even Muramasa understood that there were people, or even in the flashbacks, both Muramasas kind of understood how horrible their armor was because people would be willing to people might be, because the amount of chaos it caused was even messier and led to an even bloodier war than they were expecting when they just thought it would be, oh no, people died, let's stop. Seems like a failing of the law of balance that people who are forced to live by it don't seem to understand it. And don't believe in it, because even if you kill even one person while you're cursed with the law of balance, you've clearly failed to understand it, because you're still accepting the casualties. It's just a higher cost, and an unnecessary one. Is there another way then? Should I walk the battlefield pleading for peace with only my words and conviction as weapons? It's the righteous path, but is it a path I can walk? One must have virtue to do virtuous deeds, and I've fought and killed. What gives me the right to stop the fighting and killing? Will anyone listen when I reach out with hands covered in blood? They'll greet me with scorn, and I'll deserve it for insulting them so. Where does that leave me? Nowhere? Nowhere. I can only kill and destroy. Peace is beyond my power. And so I live unable to pay for the lives I've taken and unable to end the suffering I unleashed. But why? Over. Return the rice you stole. An easy example of one person's justice is another person's evil. Hand over the rice you stole. If you're stealing rice, you're probably not stealing to make a quick buck. You know. What do you know? We're trying to survive here. Get out of the way or we'll go right through you. Yeah. This guy killing people over a bag of rice. That's how much he values people. Kageaki just frustrated because he can't even stop that guy from killing people. Because if he does, he just has to cut down. He has to start cutting down people in the crowd. Why am I alive? Yeah, why are you alive? Kageaki's been gone since morning. I know from experience the day will have turned before he finds his way home. In the beginning, I'd follow as he wandered the city, grinding away the hours as if prizing them from his flesh. Every step he took seemed to reaffirm that indeed his existence was meaningless. Not anymore. Now I wait. A sigh drops from my lips, and it lands with a heavier sound than I expected. I look up for a moment, anticipating reproach. I need not have worried. I can sigh all I like, even rage and rail, and no one will so much as lift a disapproving brow. The house is empty, but for me, as it always is when Kageaki is gone. Supposedly it belongs to his father, but I've never once seen the man here, and his housekeeper, a woman by the name of Makimura, is away on personal business. When was she last here? I can't remember. Should be easy enough to recall, even if she's rather like a shadow. Ever since the final battle with Ginsego, my metal heart and my Shingane has lost much of its luster. At last, the purpose that sustained it for 5 centuries is gone. 500 years, not so long perhaps when you spend most of them in slumber, but these past 2 years were fraught with enough to fill 100 lifetimes. So many meetings and partings, so many battles, so much death, and yet it all seems far away. Perhaps I'm dying as Tsurugi do when they have no reason to go on. But not all of me. No, one thing hasn't lost its edge. As the Tsurugi part of me rusts away, shriveled organs once shaped of flesh swell and pulse with new life. That new life has a focus, and that focus has a name. Kageaki, my master. He's not a Tsurugi. Even absent purpose, his heart goes on beating. It keeps him alive, forces him to live in a hell of futile guilt. This isn't what I wanted. I wanted him to live, but not so that he could suffer. Should I be happy he hasn't killed himself? How can I be, when the only reason he doesn't is that it would give him relief? Suicide would be an escape from his burdens, and Minato Kageaki will never allow himself that. So no, I don't want him to die, but how is this any different? If his wounds continue to fester, they'll eventually consume him, and his soul will die. That's the same as losing the flesh which contains it. Level 151. Oh, nice. I got that, like, last week. I have to do something. One thing I know, maybe he no longer needs my power. But I'll be damned if I go to my rest leaving him like this. Muramasa gonna quote Sensho Marine. When night finds me, I'm busy trying to drown the Sahara Desert. I fill my cup for the dozenth time and then empty it down my throat. The liquor has no taste or texture, just a weight that settles like lead in my gut. One more. It's foolishness. Why drink if I can't enjoy the taste? It won't even bring me solace. Indeed, the drink is utterly powerless whether to lift my spirits or dull them enough that I can sleep. This cup has no meaning, no purpose, no worth. The cup is me. One more. I ignore Muramasa's stare and continue my work. I've never been much of a drinker. Still, there was a time I knew how to enjoy a drink. My mother taught me as she taught me to smoke, and though I never grasped the appeal of tobacco, liquor, as it's said to do, over time made a place for itself on my tongue. I no longer recall how to find that place. Each sip is worse than the last. To think that something tasteless could be so revolting. Liquor has no taste? Well, it must be a really hard liquor. One more. It does have one effect, this poison. It summons the greater poison that dwells inside of me. The memories, the faces, they dance before me, an endless parade of the lives I've taken. I'm a murderer, and my crimes are unforgivable, but no one will punish me for them. And so I go on living. Living to do what? To make amends? No, I can do nothing. What good am I? What am I? Why am I allowed to exist? One more. The liquid slides down my throat, corrosive tendrils embracing my organs. I hear them rotting. One more. And one more. He's got regen, so I don't think this even matters. It's like Wolverine. You can't actually get yourself drunk very easily if you're passively regenerating, right? This guy can do limbs. This guy can do limbs. Sure, he's not immortal, but if limbs are doable in a couple days, and most major injuries in a day, he'll be okay. He'll be fine. The alcohol's not going to kill him. He might even need some, like, serious moonshine to, even damage his liver temporarily. It will be regenning fast. The torment has stopped. I can't lift my cup. I look. The hand on my arm. That's enough. The depressing ending you always wanted.
Muramasa.
Please get some rest. Her tone's pleading. In her eyes, I can see how sincerely she cares. Why? What's the point? Thanks. She smiles when I let the cup go. I seize her wrist. You won't let me have a drink. In truth, I know there's only one thing that can save me. One thing in whose depths I can drown. It was never the drink. It's this. If I can't have the drink, I'll have you instead. The writer just being like, finally, this scene I've been waiting for. What? That's the scene I've wanted to draw this whole VN. It's Kagiaki having a drunk intercourse with his spider robot. I mean, alright. The body beneath me is warmer than a Tsurugi has any right to be, and softer too. And that, I can't blame on the alcohol heating my core. What am I doing? A ridiculous question. I press my lips to her throat and give her a flick of my tongue. I guess that's what we're doing in this post-credit scene. I wonder if this will be the end of this. This will be the end. I don't know how long these post-credits are. She jerks if I shocked her with a prod. A slight overreaction, that's all. She makes no attempt to escape or push me away, not even though tears glisten in her eyes. It's as I suspected. As I knew from the outset, Muramasa won't reject me. How wretched. To take advantage of her like this. It's an act of a base, vile thing. And is that not what I already am? What I've always been? Though I was able to hide it? Why continue the futile charade? I'm a beast, a worm, a slug. I should act according to my stature. Run then, feast, wallow in your filth. Muramasa will accept you. I reach for her clothes. What's wrong? Why hesitate? Just take the plunge and fall forever. No one will stop me, no one will blame me, so long as I forgive myself for the act. Or at least I myself forgive it. Mito? Wait! No more, please, no more. No more of this, of me. A man's skin is too good for Minato Kagieki. Let me be something else instead. A cat, a dog, an ant, a stone. Yes, a stone. A stone will do. Where is justice? Where is the law? I've offended grievously.
すいません。手相の勉強をしてるんですけど。
A random palm reader shows up. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a moment?
お手を拝見してもよろしいですか?
Hear about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? He'd like to read our palm. That's what he wants. I've killed too many. I've earned your wrath. Why won't you punish me? I'm here. Take my head. Or is this mercy? Am I supposed to live and atone for my crimes? Many argue it's wrong to put criminals to death, that they should be given the chance to make amends. I understand the logic, but what about a man who can't set things right?
うわー、素晴らしい手相ですね。あなたのような人には初めて会いました。
You have quite the palm here, sir. I must say I'm impressed.
でもこれは近い未来に波乱が見えます。あなたは人生の分岐点に差し掛かっているようです。
What's this? I see much strife in your future. Your life's approaching a crossroads. Life? How do I atone for those lives? Not only those I ended myself, but those being lost right now because of what I failed to do. How can I think of atoning when I can't even stop the bloodshed? At this very moment I'm still killing. In Yamato, in Europe, across the world, the blood of countless people is on my hands.
あなたは何かお悩みですね。そうですか、そうでしょう。実は今すぐ近くで僕の先生が講演会を開いているんですよ。
You have questions? Yes, I see it. Come with me. Our prophet's holding a meeting.
あなたも参加されれば悩みが解決するかもしれません。きっと解決します。参加料はたったの500円ですから、さあ行きましょう。
It's 500 yen. This guy seems legit. No one needs me. No one will punish me. Why am I alive? I'm surprised this story is still continuing. This world is wrong.
今の世には災いが満ちている。戦争はいつまでも続き、犠牲者はひたすら増えていく。
The world's in chaos. War rages everywhere. The bodies pile higher by the day.
ついに天までもが狂い始めた。やがて大きな災害が起こるだろう。
The sickness has even touched the heavens. It's only a matter of time before they fall. Okay, crazy guy.
どうしてこのようなことになったのか。
Because of me, it's all my fault. My fault, fine. Please do something. I mustn't be allowed to go on.
これはあなた方一人一人に責任がある。
Each and every one
他
of you
人
is
の
to
せい
blame.
にしてはいけない。あなたが今日の災いを招いてしまったのだ。
You brought this suffering down on our heads. So tell me, what am I to do?
あなた方の犯した間違いを教えよ
How did it all go wrong, you
う。
say? Tell
思
me
い出
this.
していただきたい。あなた方は誰がこの国の主だと思っている。
Who rules this land?
そう、帝だ。しかし、あなた方の崇める金城の帝は偽物なのだ。
The Emperor, that's right. But the Emperor's a fraud.
500年前、南北朝の争いで南朝方が勝利し、今に至る高等の元となっている。だが、あの時、正統の朝廷は北朝であった。
500 years ago, two emperors laid claim to the chrysanthemum throne. The southern emperor won, and it's his line that continues to this day, not the line of the true emperor, the emperor of the north.
正しい皇統が消え、誤った皇統が立てられ、信州大和は汚れてしまった。
And on that day,
その汚れが今、あまたの災いとなって我々を襲っているのだ。
Yamato lost its divine protection. This land was poisoned, and now that poison has come to punish the unfaithful.
あなた方は大和国民として正しい道へ立ち戻らねばならない。
Yamato must return to
誤
the
った
path.
道を捨てなくてはならない。
The righteous path. The righteous path. Was the path I've walked wrong? Is it not too late? Can I go back and set things right? But how far? Is it still the ending of the game? Right? Right? Yeah, the credits rolled. It's still going. Looking back, I see only mistakes. Every act I've taken seems wrong, and yet every act was also necessary. Each mistake derived inexorably from the mistake that came before. Where did it start? How far must I go back to rent this?
正しい帝を崇めるのだ。それは誰あろう私である。
You must restore the true emperor, the last descendant of the north. Now, to be fair, we did not actually get any prompts to do the true ending. I don't think. If I look at the yeah, if I look at it, I think we didn't go for the true ending. Yeah, you must restore the true emperor, the last descendant of the north.
この私、倉沢こそ北朝の末裔、倉沢正統帝なのである。
And that is I'm your Kurosawa, am your liege. Alright, buddy. Time to go back to the mental hospital.
あなた方は京都の義弟を廃し、代わりに私を包帯しなくてはならない。北朝を復興するのだ。
This random guy is named Rabble Rouser. I don't think he's expected to be believable. Especially because this was apparently a sermon offered to us by a palm reader that we just randomly ran into. That cost us money to get into. Yeah. I don't think this guy's legit. You, my subject, will march on Kyoto and drag the usurper from my throne. This is just some random guy.
さすれば私は大和に太平を与えよう。いつによって成し遂げるであろう。
Restore me to my rightful place, and with my divine protection, I'll give you peace.
なぜなら陳は正しい帝、あら人の神なのだ。
I'm the emperor, a living god. This is like Kagieki sits in on a random cult meeting. You know, the cult that promises you everything you ever wanted when they try to recruit you, and then you sit in for a really weird sermon where they rant about a whole bunch of crazy shit. Yeah, it's like the equivalent of that, except since they're not Christian, it's all about the emperor. Or since their culture isn't Christian, it's all about the emperor. That's what it seems to be right here.
神は神なのだ。ひれ伏せ我が神民よ。
I'm your emperor, a living god. Kneel before me, mortals. A font of peace, is that what it was? I've only met one god. Was that the long-awaited savior foretold, here to cleanse mankind of its sins? Would its light have granted joy to the world and undone my crimes, making everything right? But I destroyed it. Is that what doomed the world? Then why?
おお、我が民よ。そなたが最初に正しき道へ立ち返った。
Oh, my child, you shall be the first of my chosen.
北朝の帝位を奪還するため、共に戦おう。
Together we'll take back my throne. Please tell me. What?
さあ、他の者も何をしている？
You lot quickly.
彼に続き、我が手を取るのだ。
Join this man at my side.
偽りの帝を崇め続ける者は救われんぞ。
Only those who forsake their false god will be rewarded.
神、
Saved?
お前が
You're here to
世
save us.
界を救うために来たのなら。
What?
なんで俺ごときに殺された？神が。なんでだ？
You're here to save us. Why did you let me kill you? Why? Aren't you a god?
あんた、右翼の人。
Hey, what? Did one of those right-wing bastards send you?
救うならちゃんと救え。俺など踏み潰せばよかったろうが。
If you're here to save us, save us! I'm a maggot. Crush me.
貴様が真面目にやっていれば。
Do your job, damn you.
待って、殺さないで。やめます。北朝政党でやっぱりやめます。退院して法に。
Please don't kill me. I have to get okay. I'll stay in the temple. All right, poems, please, please. I fling the god aside, and together with my rage, he flees screaming into the night. Yeah, that was the scene. It's too late. It's too late now. God's dead. No one will erase my mistakes. Or me. There's no hope left. Why am I here? Why am I here? Where even is this place? I know so little. My brain, I must have dropped it off somewhere. Perhaps I should go looking. Oh, I'm better off without it. Where am I? I feel like I should recognize the place. Perhaps that man will tell me.
失礼。脳みそを探してるんですが。知りませんか？
Pardon me, have you seen my brain?
お前ら、なんでこんな時間にうろうろしてやがるんだ？は？やっぱり怪しい奴らだ。
Hey, what are you doing skulking around after dark? I knew you were up to no good.
橋を壊しただけじゃ足りないのか？今度は何をやるつもりだった？
Spit it out, what are you planning? Gonna knock down a house like you knocked down our bridge?
違う。俺たちも怪しい奴がいないか見回ってたんだよ。
Keeping a lookout just like you.
橋を壊した奴が出てきたら捕まえようと思って。
We're gonna find whoever did the bridge and turn him over to the cops.
捕まるわけねえだろ。犯人が犯人を探してるんじゃな。
You? Oh, that's rich. Pretending like it wasn't you who did it.
だから本当に違うんだ。俺たちはやってない。
How many times do you have to say it? It wasn't us.
しらじらしい。お前らでなけりゃ誰がやるんだよ。
Well, who else is there, huh? Tell me that. Damn, he's occupied, and so are the dozen or so people around him. This won't do. I'm at a crossroads. That palm reader said, I need their help to decide whether to find my brain or God and my 500 yen. Without one or the other, how will I ever restore the Northern Court?
一応お尋ねします。神か、脳みそか。
Kageki's drunk escapades. You know he's drunk,
地獄へ。
but right away he judges that his actions are at fault rather than the situation that forced it. I mean, depending on how you want to look at it, it seems like there's a lot of ways around his actions or the side effects of his actions that he just doesn't want to bother taking. Which I've noticed a couple times. For example, he's lamenting having to kill like a bunch of random innocent people. But Hikaru doesn't have that problem when she murders people whenever she wants. She can kill as many people as she wants despite being under the same curse. And he even realizes in one of the routes that it's entirely mindset oriented, but he still doesn't bother stopping to change his mindset or adjust his viewpoint or even attempt to do so to avoid killing anyone. He just goes, it's all mindset oriented. Moving on, I'm going to keep killing people and then feeling bad about it. Like, he doesn't really want to course correct. But yeah, it's not that easy to just not be depressed and acknowledge that you made some mistakes. But it's extra hard when you haven't even acknowledged that you were doing things wrong. In Hikaru's mind, everyone is her enemies other than herself. In Hikaru's mind, everyone is a potential rival for the throne of God. Basically, she doesn't see people as enemies so much as opponents, i.e. like the random person you're fighting in a tournament. You know, your enemy in a tournament, in a game tournament, isn't, you know, you sign up for the Street Fighter or the Mortal Kombat tournament. Like, you don't really hate the person you're opposed to, right? You're just beating them because you need to do it. So it'd be like that. Hikaru could reasonably just, you know, her morality is like, it's like a Colosseum fighter or something. Like, if she's ordered to fight to the death for the amusement of the crowds, she's not gonna think the guy she's fighting is evil. She's just gonna be like, well, it's my fucking job to do it, and I'll do it. Although her viewpoint's a little more serious. It's like, oh yeah, they're all rivals for the strongest person on the planet, so I'll kill them. Same concept, though. But yeah, we've established that Kageyaki is not the strongest thinker, doesn't really have too much imagination, and we've seen a few times he's escaped having to kill someone. For example, he fought a souped-up robot where there was like multiple people in one, and his strategy for beating them both times was to basically fight them until they fell from the sky and died as a result of gravity. However, this didn't trigger his need to kill anyone else, so he proceeds to not try and do this ever again. Or even contemplate that, hey, maybe he could have avoided killing some people if he can, like, trick them into doing dumb shit to get themselves killed. He didn't kill them, gravity did. And? I mean, you could say baiting someone to fight you until they fall to their deaths is gravity. There's lots of ways you can work around that, since he intentionally planned to do that. Clearly he can plan to have someone fall from the sky and not be forced to kill anyone. As long as he doesn't run them through, he's probably okay. In the case of Hikaru, it seems like he doesn't actually have to kill anybody, he just has to deal potentially fatal damage. Because he stabbed himself, quote-unquote, lethally, and then his Tsurugi, his natural regen that he knows he has, just recovered him, no problem. And it's like, oh, that counts as a kill. Okay. That's our second kill. Then we also have, I think those are my arguments for, like, how he doesn't really think about how he could maybe escape it by killing people. He hasn't experimented at all or tried to avoid it. He kind of just accepts it. Yeah, he's drunk and depressed right now, which is a weird ending unless you're pitching go try another route, or, but isn't even, like, a good ending to a route, because most routes have okay endings so far. Could also just remove the armor when he doesn't need to kill someone too. He's mentally linked to Muramasa, so I don't know if that would work. However, I'm saying I don't know if it would work. That does not mean that it won't work, but it does mean that Kageyaki did not try it because he doesn't try to escape it. You and I think... think about that. You and I think, if I don't want to randomly kill my girlfriend or my dad, so how about I try to avoid this thing? Because Muramasa, even the person who forces him to enforce it, they literally follow the rules of the law because they have to, not because they're a big fan of it. So yeah, he could totally do that and see what happens, but most of the time, I don't think he's had the opportunity. So that one doesn't quite... I mean, he could just try and see what happens, but who wants to risk killing their random, being forced to kill their girlfriend or whatever, right? You think he always needs to obey the law? Yeah, he accepts the law without the curse of his mother's teachings. Yeah, he accepts it. I mean, his mother's teaching isn't the law. His mother's teaching is don't kill anyone. Yeah, for the sake of the plot, he needs to obey it. Yeah, it's kind of just plot-themed. Like, in this route, there's no way that he shouldn't have to finish off someone else. Because when he failed to kill the Amishi chick after stabbing her, and she was dying anyway. She was bleeding out, and the law was just like, you have to finish the job. So if no one's actually dead, it's kind of weird. In the end of the story, it's a story, but I do like it when the story is consistent. A consistent story is better written than an inconsistent story. Because it's harder to take a story, no matter how fantastic, seriously, if the story doesn't take itself seriously. Right? Nobody watches a comedy ultra seriously and it's like, I desperately need to know how this ends. You don't think there exists a 100% consistent story? Probably not. Or, well, there might be. I'd say that one exists, but I would say that most stories are not. That said, better is... more consistent is usually better. Because there's plenty of space for you to play around with the way a person concludes things. Or their life experiences that lead them somewhere. Yeah, there may not be a story that's perfectly consistent, but there are many that seem very consistent, enough that most people wouldn't notice. And I think you should always be encouraging people to write better stories. After all, this VN is just a game with 99% of the content removed and just the story part. Like, you're here for the story, you're here for the experience, and consistency will mostly only benefit the story. I mean, sometimes it makes it harder to write the story. That's the downside. It makes it hard to write it or to set up characters that'll work in the story, because maybe they'll have to be like extra crazy or something. But the story's done an alright job with that for the most part. There's some moments it's not amazing, but it's doing alright. Or perhaps you could point me in the direction of myself. I'm trying to find myself, you see. He's a little bit drunk. Interesting how he got more drunk the later the night goes on.
Huh?
Holy shit, it smells like a fucking saloon. How odd. None of you seem drunk.
おい、誰だよ、こんな酔っ払い連れてきたのは。
Hey, who's this drunk with?
知らねえって、勝手に寄ってきたんだろ。
Never seen him before. I'd say you just showed up.
なあ、あんた、悪いけど今、取り込み中でさ。
Hey buddy, we're kind of busy here.
そうです。取り込んでいるのです。
I'm very
自
busy. I don't
分が
know why
な
I'm
ぜ
alive.
生きているのかわかりません。
He's drunk, that's what he is.
どなたかご存知ではないでしょうか。
You gentlemen know, perhaps you'd be so kind
ご教示を賜りたく。
as to point me in the right direction.
やけに丁寧な酔っ払いだな。
You know, for a drunk, he's awfully polite.
ああ、こんなのどうでもいい。とにかくお前ら、橋のことを忘れる気はねえからな。
Get him. You listening, you lot? That bridge is all on you.
だから俺たちは。
What's it?
橋と
I'm sorry,
何
what
です
bridge?
か。
いや、
Oh,
ほら、
what?
そこの川に落ちてるだろ。
Can't you see the bridge
壊
is
されて
broken?
渡れないんだよ。
なるほど。俺は行けません。
That's terrible.
しかし自分が思
Have you tried using forks and spoons
い。橋
instead?
を渡れないなら。
What?
相手するなよ。
Just ignore the poor bastard.
あの橋はな、俺たちの生活に必要だったんだ。
We needed that bridge to make a living.
このままで済ませてたまるか。弁償しやがれ。
It is your fault, so you're gonna pay.
弁償って、そんな。
Well, we don't have that kind of money.
できないってんなら。
If you don't got the money.
フォーク。
Hey, and forks.
フォーク？
Forks?
お前ら全員追い出すまでだ。
And we're kicking you
フ
out.
ォークで。
With forks. Why? Why forks?
フォークで。
Forks.
誰と話してんだよ。っていうか邪魔だからあっち行ってろ、酔っ払い。
Enough with the forks. Will you get your drunk ass lost already?
お前だよ。キョロキョロすんな。
Right, I'm talking to you.
自分は酔っていませんが。
I'm not drunk.
どう見ても酔ってるよ。
You're totally
な
wasted.
んと。
Oh, sorry.
自分は酔っていたので
I
す
hadn't
が。
noticed. Consider paying in forks.
では、もう少し酔っ払いらしく振る舞った方が良いですね。
I behave in a more drunken manner.
十分だ。
You're good.
おい、構うなって。
Yeah, but you're the one who said forget him.
わかってる。
All right. Listen
いい
up.
か、もう一度言っとく。
It's the last time I'll say it.
はい。
Alright.
お前にじゃねえよ。
I wasn't talking to you.
だからさ、
For fuck's sake.
わかってる。いいか難民ども。
You got two
弁
choices.
償するか。 出ていくかどっちかだ。
Either pay up or find another town to leech off of.
勝手ばっか言いやがって。俺たちはやってないって言ってるだろ。
You crazy, it wasn't us.
知るか。どの道お前らは邪魔なんだよ。
Doesn't matter, either way we don't want you here.
なんだと。
What's that? You think we're here because we wanna be?
争わないでください。
Please don't fight.
もういいからお前はどっか行け。
Get lost
い
already?
いえ。争ってはいけません。悪いのは自分ですから。
This is my fault.
は
Say what?
あなた方が責め合うべきではない。
Mustn't blame each other, blame me instead.
俺を責めればいい。災いを生んだのは俺だ。俺が悪い。俺を責めろ。俺を罰しろ。
I'm responsible for all of this. It was me. Punish me.
そうしてくれ。どうそれでもいい。
The truth
殺
is
して
getting
く
off
れて
on.
構わぬ。
Became a real masochist? Yeah. Please, you can do what you want with me. Kill me if it'll make things better.
だから、
Just please.
だから。
Please. The night sky spreads above me. It's vast, but what happened to the moon? Oh, that's right, Hikaru broke it. I always told her to take better care of her toys. I roll on the ground, clutching my sides. My belly aches with the force of my laughter. The moon, would you look at that? What a world, right, Hikaru? Hikaru, why? Why didn't you break me too? Why'd you leave me behind? Why?
おい、こいつどうする？
What do we do with him?
どうするって。
How am I supposed to know?
くそ。なんだかバカバカしくなっちまった。
I just feel stupid.
俺もだ。今日は引き上げようぜ。
Why don't we just call it a night, yeah?
ああ。
Kageyaki, meanwhile, passed out in front of the bridge. So that's how the moon broke in Ruby? Yeah. Hikaru kicked it. When I awaken, two things immediately become clear. The first is I don't know where I am. And the second is that my brain apparently decided to become a percussive instrument. Also that I'm without an explanation for either.
何か
What
あっ
happened?
た。
I'm lying on a futon in an unfamiliar home. In addition to the pounding inside my skull, I'm experiencing a general lethargy and a marked dryness of throat. How did I get here? Try as I might, I can't recall the past, which led to the present. Should I dig deeper? The thought brings a fresh wave of pain. Becoming, I stretch out my arms and legs and let my head sink into the pillow.
起きた？
Wakey, wakey?
はい、
Yeah.
平気？
Okay.
そうですね。水を一杯。
I could use a glass of water if you'd be so kind.
お水？
Water?
わかった。
Okay.
誰だ？
Who the heck was that? The dusty rafters don't answer, and my brain is of no use. I don't think I've ever met her before.
はい。
Here.
ありがとうございます。
Thanks. Alright, a second sprite that we've never seen before. Sitting up, I accept the stainless steel cup. It's cold to the touch, reminding me that winter is here. I gulp it down, tap water. Metallic tang tells me, but its cool kiss upon my organs more than makes up for what it lacks in flavor. As I finish, my stomach grumbles. One part of me, at least, is fully awake.
ご飯？
Hungry?
おう、
No, I couldn't.
いえ。そこまで厚かましくは。
お腹空いてない？
Your stomach's not empty? Or should I say not hungry?
あ、
You're not hungry?
その、
A little.
少々。
For innocence leaves me with little choice but to admit my weakness. Meanwhile, my stomach continues growling, suggesting it's been a night or more since I last ate.
待ってて。
Be right back. He darts into the kitchen, then returns a moment later. Remember that if Muramasa actually cared to, she could probably track us. or just whisper to us telepathically from like halfway across the city, so it's not like we can't find our way back. She darts into the kitchen and returns a moment later.
これ
Here.
ほ
Thank
Do.
you. She hands me a small potato. It's cold but cooked. Not the grandest of meals, but I'm not about to complain. At least I won't have to feel too bad about accepting the offer.
いただきます
You're very
う
kind.
ん
No problem. The first bite is sweet and good. It takes less than 60 seconds for the rest to vanish down my gullet. During that time, the child watches me intently.
ごちそうさまでした
It was delicious.
お粗末様
Thanks. He learned her manners. A light draws my eye to the window. The sun's risen. It must be breakfast time.
あの
Ah.
ところで
Cold tendril of intuition crawls its way up my
あ
spine.
なたは食べないのですか
Have you eaten?
うん
I was gonna
あげちゃった
give it to you.
うんどうしたの
You okay, mister?
大変
Terribly sorry.
申し訳ありません
After giving myself 15,000 mental lashes, I press my forehead against the mat. The child looks confused.
この償いはすぐにいたします
I'll make reparations at once.
償い
あ
Reparations.
なたの食事を横取りしてしまったので
I ate your breakfast,
おじさん困ってた
but you needed it
私より
more than me.
だからあげたの
I
そう
see.
ですか
This must be how the tiger who ate the Buddha felt. Really, a tiger eating the Buddha? I don't know if the tiger would care. In any case, the shock seems to have finally roused my brain. I take the opportunity to reassess my situation. The house is small, though I can't imagine the girl lives here alone. It's furnished, which suggests an adult hand at work. Why does it feel so empty? Even if her parents are out, I should feel some trace of their presence, and instead, nothing. The floor is dusty.
どうかした
いえ
Yeah.
失礼しました
I divert my train of thought before I try to pry into her circumstances. I should get my own affairs in order. Last night, it's coming back to me now. I got drunk and assaulted Muramasa, then fled into the city. The exercise must have helped the alcohol work, because after that, the night's a blur. I vaguely recall committing a second assault at a political rally down by the train station. And after that, I intervened in a dispute between two groups of men. I intervened in what? The rest is blank.
あの
Sorry, could you tell me how I got here?
自分がどうしてこの家にいるのか教えていただけないでしょうか
At the risk of sounding like a fool, I decide I have to ask.
えっと
Well, those are both the scenarios we saw in the previous scenes, right?
昨日おじさんが
Other old people were fighting.
はい
Oh, right. I refrain from pointing out I'm still in my 20s, not exactly old.
喧嘩を止めてて
You stopped them,
その後で寝ちゃったから
then you went to sleep.
連れて
So I
き
took
た
you
の
home.
なるほど
I see. I require several seconds to parse her explanation. This girl witnessed me collapse during last night's altercation. Afterwards, she took pity on me and carried me to her home. Or she must mean her parents carried me. She couldn't have managed it herself. I should thank them. Yep, she took him all the way home.
ご両親はどちらに
Where are your
お
parents?
父さんとお母さん
Mom and Dad? She looks 5 or 6. Yeah, she looks pretty young. She does not look old enough to carry you. And, I mean, even by the scale of the game, he's way too small.
ええ
いない
They're gone.
お仕事でしょうか
They're at work?
ううん
No,
いないの
they're gone. I pause for another few seconds considering her words in light of the emptiness filling the house. So her parents are gone.
お父さんは兵隊に行ったの
Daddy was, a soldier.
すぐに帰ってくるって言ってた
He said he'd be back
で
soon.
も手紙が来て
But a letter came instead.
お母さんが泣いてお父さんはもう帰ってこないって
The letter made Mommy cry. She said Daddy was never coming home.
それからお母さんもいなくなっちゃった。
Then Mommy went away.
どちらへ行かれたのですか？
Do you know where she went?
知らない。
No. I could use a strong bowl of tea. Seeing none at hand, I settle for swallowing my saliva instead. The taste is bitter, but the ritual serves its purpose. Keeps my spirit from crumbling.
お暮らしはどのように？
How do you survive? I mean, where do
食
you
べ
get
物は
food?
どうされています？
八百屋さん、
Granny?
お手伝いするとご飯くれる。
I do chores for food.
それと配給。
Also, rations. Rations. I've heard rationing is again in effect for some sectors of the populace. If the war situation doesn't improve, it'll soon be like that for everyone. What many people would consider a hardship has been for this orphan a blessing. Something to think about, and cruelly ironic in the light of the fact that the war which made rationing necessary is the same war that murdered her father. That potato must have been her ration for the day, and yet another reason to regret having eaten it.
申し遅れましたが、自分は港影明というも
What do
の
you
で
guys
す。
think? What do you guys think?
あなたに
One
は大変
potato per day.
お世話になりました。
Those rations suck. I haven't introduced myself, Minato Kagieki. Thank you for your help. Especially if those are small potatoes. Like, I swear, a small potato, you could almost fit the smallest potatoes you could fit in one bite. A single potato, though, that's rough. Even for a 6-year-old, even for like a 6 or 8-year-old. I've introduced myself, Minato Kagieki. Thank you for your help.
名前
Is that your name?
はい、
Yeah.
影明。
Kagieki?
そうです。
Yeah, mind telling me yours?
よろしければ、あなたの名前もお聞かせください。
うん、
Sure.
光。
Hikari. One letter away from Hikaru. What are the odds? At least it's not another Hikaru. What?
光。
Hikari. Hikari. Takes my hand, then awkwardly traces a character on my palm. The same character her name used? Oh.
うん、
Is it weird?
い
No.
え、良いお名前だと思います。
It's a good name! I'd give it to my own daughter!
同じ名前をつけたでしょう。
You don't fucking say, buddy!
きっと。
If I ever had one.
そう。
Oh,
よかった。
good, good. Was that a smile? For the first time, her lips seemed to form a shape other than a line. For my part, I can hardly breathe. The shock I'd received very nearly stopped my heart. What twist of fate is this?
風
Sick?
いえ、
No, I'm
大
fine.
丈夫です。
Yeah, his sister slash daughter. Welcome to Alabama.
その、
Ah. I searched for a topic, something to distract me.
あ、そう。喧嘩はどうなりましたか？
What happened with the fight? Isn't his mother Subaru though? I guess that's not his real mom. His adoptive mom.
昨日の
Last night?
はい。
Yeah. I realize the question's more than a distraction. I have a real interest in the answer. Though my memory of the encounter is far from complete, I seem to recall tempers on both sides were heated. The current climate in Yamato is the sort that breeds resentment. If the argument last night came to blows, then I expect more than a few injuries resulted. I just hope no one was
平
hurt.
気だった。
Nothing happened.
平気。
う
Nothing.
ん、
Yep,
大丈夫だった。
nothing.
その、つまり、
No one was hurt?
うん、
そうですか。
Oh. That's good. Wonderful. In fact, it means the child didn't have to witness bloodshed. Still,
しかし、どうして？
why did they stop?
おじさん、
You.
はい。
What?
おじさんが止めたの。
You stopped him.
自分が。
そう、
それは、どのように？
と、フ
Uh,
ォーク
Porks? Man, I need to start using forks when in doubt. Just insert like forks.
フォーク
Forks?
うん
And a bridge.
お箸とフォーク
That doesn't clear anything up. What? Wasn't clearing up for him. Remember, he was like ranting about forks, and they ended up stopping for some reason because they were like, "The fuck is this guy on about?" Except for one thing, it was me. I stopped them. Me.
そうか
I stopped a conflict. I think I had that power. If you get wasted enough and people find you pathetic enough, maybe they'll not kill people over random shit they didn't even do.
影焼き
Kageyaki?
Oh.
Yeah?
嬉しそう
You look happy?
そうです
I
か
do. I touch my cheek. A new warmth is there, as if the blood's only now returning. It appears this child knows my heart better than I myself
失
do.
礼何でもありません
I'm sorry, it's nothing. By the way, what happened
ついで
afterwards?
にその後のことですがどうやって自分をここまで運んでくださったのでしょう
Seeking a new topic, I've returned to one of my earlier questions.
あなただけでは難しいと思うのですが
Would have been hard on your
う
own.
ん頑張ったけど動か
I
なく
tried,
て
but you were too heavy.
困ってたらお姉ちゃんが来てくれたの
But then the nice lady came. Is this Muramasa?
お姉ちゃん
A nice lady? Someone you know?
両親の他にご家
ううん
Nope,
知
never
ら
met
な
her.
い人
This woman helped her carry me.
その方は今どちらに
Where's the nice lady now? In the other room?
そこ
There?
そこ
Where? I turn, following her finger to the home's entryway, and there, arms folded. How long has she been there? It's Muramasa. See? See? I knew that was gonna happen. We step outside where I realize we're in a suburb of Kamakura. The streets are only lightly paved and lined with squat houses packed tightly. The air is thick and neither of us speaks. Muramasa doesn't feel she needs to. Perhaps. She's right. Her silence is enough, whereas I find my tongue weighed down by the memory of last night's debacle. I know I should apologize and probably never stop, but where do I begin?
ね
Mito? Mito?
少し元気になった
Are you feeling better?
あ
Crap.
かもしれん
そう
Glad.
村正
Muramasa?
何
昨日の
The armor has a
ことだ
human
が
form? That it does. How else do you make waifus out of everyone? Come on. We can give boats a human form, surely we can give armor a human form. But why? I mean, at least in this setting, the armor was originally a person. This is just them returning to their original form. About Lance Knight. Yeah, so the way you make the power armor... So there's two ways to make power armor. The classic way is a smith makes armor and then fuses their body with the metal to turn into the suit of power armor. The modern way is to, like, use some technology to basically, like... I don't know what they actually use. I think it's, like, some variation of basically cloning cloning flesh. I assume that's what they use. They do something like that. Like, they just use, you know, random slab of meat and they fuse that with armor. They they clone people. They basically clone, like, people, but they're, like, not, you know, it's not like they clone a living person. Like, they're not going to be a fully sapient person. They have, like, a half-baked cloning process that allows them to basically make suits of power armor en masse without costing them a person. But your suit of power armor, of course, is one of the classics, as Muramasa's, like, 500 years old. Yeah. But the law... You mean the cloning people? The cloning people, or the fact that she was made 500 years ago on order of the Emperor, or I guess she made herself a suit of power into a suit of power armor on order by the order of the Emperor. Because that's what they do to colored people in this country. Oh my goodness. Whichever's more dramatic. So about last night, Muramasa just sitting there blushing. Sorry. An apology. He didn't go anywhere too crazy, but he apologized. That's better than nothing. I won't ask you to forgive me.
いいのよ、別に。
You don't
気
have
に
to.
しないで。
It's fine. That's not what I'd call it.
私は、
You know,
私はね、あなたが望むのであれば。
if that's what you want from me.
ともかく約束する。
It was a fluke.
僕の
Temporary
振る舞いは割り
insanity,
切
I
りだ。
swear.
え
What?
あんな真似はもう二度としない。
It'll never happen again.
そう。
絶対にだ。
I promise. Really? Really?
天地に誓おう。
I swear it. He's screwed. For sure. Muramasa?
何
Yes?
やはり
You're angry?
怒っているか。
Of course you are.
どうして
What? I'm not angry.
いや、な
You
ん
don't
とな
have
く。
to.
私のどこが怒ってるのかしら
Excuse me.
こ
I'm
んなに
smiling.
とっ
Aren't
て
I?
も笑顔でしょ
What part of this smile says angry?
そうだ
True,
な。
true, yeah. She's indeed smiling like a benevolent goddess, the sort who has a penchant for storms.
気のせいだったか。
So I'm imagining it?
そうよ。気のせいよ。
Well, how else do you explain
な
it?
ら、
Right
you-
then.
ミドったら変なこと言って。
Mito, you can be so silly sometimes.
あ
Of course.
すまん。
You're right. Where am I? The North Pole? A frigid wind is blowing. The weather has been schizophrenic lately.
もういいから帰りましょう、ミド。別に用事はないんでしょ
We go home now. I don't imagine we have pressing business here. What, you don't like going for a walk in the suburbs of Kamakura?
あ
Oh,
Yeah.
actually,
少しやってみたいことがある。
a few things I'd like to do first.
Hmm?
First, we need to see that my little savior is properly fed. Oh, he is gonna take care of the little girl. Nice, nice. It's not a story of heroes, but is he gonna be a hero for this little girl? For 5 minutes, maybe? And after that, we got a bridge to rebuild. This must be the place.
橋
A bridge?
の名
What's
残だ
left
な
of。one. The river looks deep, if not terribly wide. The bridge would have been necessary to cross it. From what I can tell, it was a simple affair. A few pieces of wood remain on each bank to mark where it stood. How the bridge came to be lost, I don't know. The only thing I recall from last night's encounter is that two groups of men were fighting over who was to take the blame. Now where to start?
んおい、あれ
Hey.
昨日の酔っ払いじゃねえか。
It's that drunk.
本当だ。今日は朝から女連れかよ。
Got a girl this time. I turned to see two men wearing overalls. Locals on their way to work, though their faces are unfamiliar. They clearly recognize me. They must have been involved in the altercation last night. I signal Muramasa to stay where she is and approach the two.
おはようございます。昨晩はご迷惑をおかけしました。
Apologies. Good morning. I'd like to apologize for my conduct last evening.
今日はシラフらしいな。
Yes, he's sober.
そうか昨日も口ぶりだけはまともだったぞ、この兄ちゃ
You
ん。
tell? He's polite when hammered
い
too.
え、どうかご安心を。あのような無礼はもういたしません。
I assure you what happened last night will never happen again. Not that I remember what that was.
実は少々お尋ねしたいのですが、
I was hoping you might have a
お
moment
時
for
間
some
をいただいて
questions.
もよろしいでしょうか。
あんた誰だよ。
Who are you anyway?
失礼しました。自分は
Pardon
鎌
me.
倉警察署長の下で働く
I'm Minato Kageyaki.
港影明というものです。
I work for the commissioner of the police. It feels like forever since I introduced myself though.
警官か？
But you're a cop,
その意思とお考えください。
so I'm
今、
currently off duty.
非番のようなものですが。
警官ならさ、あいつらどうにかしてくれよ。
You're a cop, do something about these sons of bitches.
あいつら、
I'm sorry. Whom are you referring?
難民どもさ、
Goddamn refugees.
北から西からぞろぞろ鎌倉に来やがって、
More of them
他
coming
に行
every
くとこ
day.
ろねえのかよ。
What, they got nowhere else to go?
関東じゃ鎌倉が一番マシみたいだからな。
They Kamakura is the safest place in Kanto
来
now.
るのは仕方ねえにしても、元から住んでた俺らに迷惑かけるなってのさ。
I'm not saying don't come. I'm saying don't make trouble for us, right?
うん。
Right, right.
食い物は減るし、水は汚れるしよ。
They eat
臭い
our
ったらね
food,
え
they
し、
shit in our water,
病気まで持ち込んだやつもいるらしいじゃねえか。
and they make our kids sick.
噂は聞くな。どっかで赤痢が広がりだしたとか。
You hear there's dysentery running around? Going around?
くそ、ろくでもね
Had it. They can all go to hell. Larger man's shouting began to draw attention, but for all the looks he receives, few carry reproach. From what I gather, it seems an influx of refugees made life difficult for the people who live here. Their frustration's understandable, which makes the problem an even trickier one. Normally, the government would step in to offer relief, but with the war going
と
on...
ころで、この橋ですが。
I ask about the bridge.
ああ、
Yeah, it's their fault
そ
too.
いつも奴らのせいさ。街中へ行くのに使う橋だってのに、これを壊されちまったせいで、あっち側に仕事場のあるやつはみんなずっと下流の別の橋を渡っていかなきゃならな
We
くな
used
っ
to
た。
take the bridge into the city for work. Now we've got to take another bridge further downstream.
すげえ遠回りなんだぜ。
The hell of a hike.
バカバカしいよな。
Bullshit.
難民の人々がこれを壊したのですか？
How do you know it was them?
風や増水で壊れたようには見えないだろ。
Does it look like a storm did this?
確かに。しかし、難民の犯行という証拠は
I see your point. Is there evidence pointing to the refugees?
証拠は
Well, no.
ねえさ。
But who else is there?
けどよ、他に誰がやるってんだ。
Everyone in town? Random hooligans with bats or axes? Some random asshole in power armor? Like what do you want a list?
あいつら、俺たちがちょくちょく苦情を言いに行くのが嫌で、橋を壊したに決まってる。難民どもが住んでるのも川向こうだからな。
Seeing as they all live on the other side, it looks like we're gonna let this go.
あいつら全員が橋さえなければ文句言われないなんて考えるバカだとは思わねえけど、古い橋だったからな。
I mean, you'd have to
そう
be
いうバカ
stupid.
が一人でもいれば簡単に落とせるんだ。
If it was an old bridge, it wouldn't take more than one or two.
おまわり、どうにかしてくれよ。
You gotta help us, officer.
そうですね。
Right.
事態を確か
I'll
め、
assess the
善処した
situation
く思います。
and see what I can do.
前書ね。お役人の前書は当てにならないからな。
We'll see what he can do. Like that ever amounted to anything? Two men shake their heads, then turn and walk
や
away.
っぱり、筋の連中に頼むか。
We might have to take their
こ
offer.
の辺りの見回りを請け負ってくれるって話か？
You mean those guys who said they'd give us protection?
それだけじゃねえ。難民どもの追い出しも相談に
Can't
乗る
take
って
care of
さ。
our refugee problem, remember?
でもよ、みかじめ料を聞いただろう？
What's the
どうやって
money,
毎
though?
月それだけの金を出すんだよ。
They want us to pay every month?
そこがな。あいつら、こ
Everyone
っちの
wants a
足元を
piece.
見てやがるから。
As they head off down the riverbank, conversing in low tones, Muramasa returns to my side.
やってみたいことっていうのはこの橋の立て直し？
This is what you want to do? Repair the bridge?
少し違うな。
Not precisely.
じゃあ
What then?
何を？
差し当たっては、
Well, first I need to hear from the other side. 20 minutes of walking later, we find them clustered around the parks and fire breaks, lining the opposite bank, the refugees fleeing the war that rages to the south and north. As expected, conditions are poor and only a handful live in anything that resembles a structure. Most have tents. Many have less. The fears of disease are not without merit. Alright, now that I'm here, how do I proceed? Though I'm just gonna stop for a second here. I think I'm okay with, like, the story of him helping these random refugees and being a nice guy. I'm just weirded out how long they decided to make this arc. or decide he wanted to do this, and why we started with like the mercenary group and not this plot. Though I'm at least the present focus of at least half a dozen pair of eyes, I can't see any of the people to whom they presumably belong. Clearly, they don't trust strangers, and while I can hardly begrudge them in that, in light of their recent tensions, it does make my prospects for conversation rather dim. Should I call out, hoping for a response? It might have the opposite effect. Like, I feel like this ending, while good, is not necessarily an ending I particularly care for. Following the scene directly before the credits. Like, this would have been a good one for he kills her, and then kills, like, his father or something. No, the guide only tells you about decision points. If I call out hoping for a response, it might have the opposite effect.
Or
Hey, aren't you?
Onto.
A young man steps out of the shadows of a hovel. He looks away for a moment, then as if searching his memories.
夕べの酔っ払いじゃないか。
You hear that drunk from last night?
あなた、昨日の夜は随分と面白いことになってたみたいね。
Sounds like you had all kinds of fun. I pretend not to hear the bite in Muramasa's voice or feel her stare on my back. This is the chance I was hoping for.
その説はお騒がせしました。
Allow me to apologize.
いや、いいよ。
Don't
あん
sweat
た
it.
の
I
おか
think
げ
we
で
owe you one.
助かった気もするしさ。それで、なんでこんなところに来たんだ？
What brings you here?
少々お伺いしたいことがあり。
I was hoping you might answer some questions. I paused, realizing introduction in this case might prove problematic. What will you do when I reveal I'm affiliated with the police? Not welcome me with open arms, I'm sure. Even so, I suspect that position will be preferable to drunkard.
失礼。自分は警察に属しているものです。
I actually work for the Kamakura Police Department.
警察？
You're a cop? As expected, the man draws back in fear, echoes of which ripple through the neighborhood. To these people who are not truly residents of Kamakura, a police officer in their midst is a sign of upheaval. I move quickly to set their minds at ease.
ご安心ください。立ち退きの勧告に来たのではありません。
I'm not here to ask anyone to leave.
あなた方の状況を調査するために参っ
I'd
たので
merely
す。
like to understand your situation.
聞いてどうする？
And what happens when you do?
詳しいことを知るまでは。
I won't know
なんと。
until then.
結局は追い出しにかかるんじゃないか？
You might kick us out anyway?
否定はできません。
I can't deny that might happen. Lying won't help. The police and military might indeed take such measures, short-sighted though they would be.
しかし、自分はそうならぬ方が良いと考えています。
But I don't want that
自
either.
分の力量はたかが知れていますが
I、can't make any guarantees,
それでも
but I do intend to help
何かできることはあるか
in
もしれま
whatever
せん
way。I can.
ご協力をいただけないでしょうか。
And I hope for your cooperation.
まあ、
Guess
話く
I
ら
can
い
answer
な
some
ら
questions.
別にそれで俺たちの
Won't
生
make
活
things
が
worse than they
こ
already
れ
are.
以上悪くなるわけじゃないしな。
ありがとうございます。
Thanks. I bow. It's a
あな
start.
た方はどち
Where
ら
are
か
the
ら？
people from?
そりゃいろいろだよ。俺は駿河だけど、他に
All
も
over,
東
man.
映とか尾張とか。
I'm from Saruga. We got people from Totome, Owari, you name
で
it.
も大半は東海地方だな。
I'd say most of us from the
もっと
Tokai
遠くから
area.
来たやつもいることはいるが。
なるほど。
These particular refugees were driven from the south, where Imagawa Raicho and his uncle Ashikaga Yukitsura are fighting over who will lead Rokuhara. From what I heard of the conflict, they're lucky to have survived.
当面、鎌倉で暮らすことをご希望なのですね。
And I assume you'd like to stay in Kamakura until the war's over?
他にどうしようもないからな。
Where else to
何
go?
か不自由されていることは？
Need anything?
不自由？
Need?
家
Drugs,
と食い物と働き口が足りないくらいだよ。
work, the usual, you know. I do, in short, they have the same problem as the rest of Kamakura, only worse, and they're not problems I can fix. It'll take a stable nation armed with vision and will. Perhaps I can help on a smaller scale.
旧来の住民との間にトラブルがあるという話も聞いていま
Told
す
you
が
had problems with the locals?
ああ、俺たちは歓迎されてない
Yeah,
か
we're
ら
not
な。
welcome.
あれこれと揉め事は起きてるよ。
They're always coming to us with some beef.
実を言えば、あいつらの気持ちは
I mean, I get it. I wouldn't want a bunch of strangers mucking up
自
my
分の
town
町
either.
にいきなり薄汚い格好をした連中が けど俺たちは
Like I
他
said,
に行き場
though,
がなくてここに来
we
たん
got
だ。
nowhere else to go. They
出
can't
て行け
expect
と
us
言
to
われて
pack
も
up and leave.
そうですかとうなずけやしない。
ええ、
Understood.
どうにか受け入れてほしいんだが。
Think you can make them understand?
何やら関係を決定的に悪化させる事件があったと
I
か。
believe a recent incident has exacerbated the problem.
橋のことだな。
You mean the bridge?
はい。
あいつらは俺たちが壊したって言ってる。
You think we did it? That's
でも
crazy.
やるわけがない。ここの誰にそんな元気があるってんだ。
Who here's got that kind of energy? We're starving. I mean, I can see someone who would. I can see how the bridge might get torn down. I mean, there are people with houses made of wood here that might be already processed lumber they ripped from the bridge. If I wanted to say they stole it, that's what I'd go with. That's what I'd consider. That would be a motive. Shelter.
しかも何の得にもならないじゃないか。馬鹿げてるよ。
では
Do you have an idea who
あ
might
な
have
たは
done it?
何者の犯行だと思われます。
さあな。
Some shit had
ど
happened
こ
to
かの
land.
悪タレのいたずらじゃないのか。でなければ考えたくはないが、
Otherwise,
住
I hate
民
that
側
I'm
が
saying this.
俺たちを追い出す
Maybe some of the locals, you know,
口実作りに
Thought
自
it'd make a
分
good
で壊し
excuse.
た。
Yeah, I
俺もバカなこと言ってるな。
know. Yeah, now who's talking crazy?
でもありえないとは思えないんだ。
But I can't get out of my head. I guess that's
向こうが俺たちを疑うのも
how they
わかる
feel,
よ。
right?
そうですね。
Probably is.
やれやれだ。
Well, what can you do? He looks away with a small, tired smile. What indeed? What about a planer, an axe, and hand planer, an axe, and a couple days? Could probably make a bridge like that. Noon finds us once more at little Hikari's home. I even want to say Hikaru. The girl seems happy to see us and doubly to see the meal that we brought. She reacted similarly when we fed her this morning. Given that neither was a sumptuous affair, I worry she's been going hungry.
要するに昔からの住人と新しく入ってきた人たちとの間を取り持って和解させたいの？
Do you want to help these newcomers get along with the people who've always lived here?
まあそうだ。このまま互いに不満と不信の念を募らせていけば、
Relations
やが
continue
て
to
破滅
fester
的な
and
結果になりかね
could
ない。
easily lead to violence.
それを防ぐ。
What I want to prevent.
難しいと思うけど。
That won't be easy.
簡単ではな
Oh,
かろ
I'm
う
sure it
が。
won't. Like most things, human relationships are far easier to break than build. One can labor for 100 years and still fail to repair what only took an instant to destroy.
しかし、俺でも和解のきっかけを作るくらいのことはできるか
Well,
もしれない。
perhaps I can lay the groundwork for peace.
やるだけはやってみる。
I gotta try. I like this mini arc where he starts up doing charity work. That's kind of cool. But like I said, I feel like the ending made more sense if he died. I already prevented one outbreak of violence. I want or need to believe that I can do so again. There has to be a purpose, some reason to live on in spite of my crimes.
そう。
So,
それでどうする気なの？
what are you gonna do?
話し合いだけで片付く問題ではないだろ
Discussion won't be enough.
う。まず行動が必要だ。
Both sides will have to act,
難民側に行動を起こしてもらう。
starting with the refugees. They do have the most free time, presumably.
橋を
Bridge?
はい。
Yep. My previous visit must have helped to allay some of their suspicion. This time, a young refugee is joined by a number of his fellows, and they look as surprised as he is.
橋を立て直すって。
You want us to rebuild it?
そうです。材木や道具は自分に少々つてがあるので、
Yeah, I
そ
can
ち
get
らから
lumber
調
and
達
tools.
します。金銭面の心配はいりません。
There won't be any expenses on your end.
と言われてもな。
Okay.
なんで俺たちがそんなことしなきゃいけない？あの橋を壊したのは俺たちじゃないんだ。
Why have us do it? We didn't break the damn thing.
はい。
I know. Though I don't have proof, my instincts tell me some other party was responsible.
食材として再建するのではありません。
You're not making reparations.
じゃあ何のために？
Then why?
誠意です。
A gesture of good faith.
誠意。
はい。 この町の厄介者になるのではなく、住民となって貢献する意欲を示すべきと考えま
You
す。
need to show you're not here to cause problems and that you're willing to contribute.
それこそなんでだ。俺たちは戦に追われてようやくここまでたどり着いただけなんだぞ。
We're only here because our homes got destroyed.
何も悪いことはしてねえ。なのになんでこの上そんな苦労を背負い込まないとならないんだ。
Why do we have to work our asses off?
お気持ちは理解できます。しかし、あなた方が流入したことで、現在のところ、旧来の住民の生活環境が悪化しているの
Your
も事
presence
実なの
here
です。
is causing difficulties for the residents. Okay, fair
あ
enough.
なた方に罪はな
You've
い。
done nothing wrong, neither have they.
住民側もそれは同じ。双方が自分は悪くないと意地を張り合っている限り、
As long as you both
問
insist
題
you're
は
right,
解決しません。
the problem will continue growing.
譲
You
歩
need to
し合う必要
compromise.
があります。
Tagiaki, this is the only route he understands compromise. Interesting.
そして、
And in this case,
先に譲歩するのは
we have to compromise
Or
first.
はい。
なんで。腐るなよ。それは仕方ない。俺たちは後から来たんだ。
Come off it, man. It's their home.
受け入れてもらうために努力が必要ってのは当然といえば当然の話だ。
Accepted.
このまま住民に睨まれ続ければいずれ俺たちは追い出される。
The way things
そうな
are,
った
they're
ら
gonna drive us out
の
sooner
た
or
れ死に
later.
するしかない。
And then, we're as good as dead.
けれどうまく住民側と和解できれば。
But if we get them to accept us,
その事実は、行政や警察の判断にも強く影響するでしょう。
the authorities will surely take that into account.
保護する方向へ方針が傾く一因となります。
Commissioner Kikuchi is not a soft-hearted man. There's no guarantee he'll let the refugees stay, but nor will he fail to weigh any effort made by them to integrate.
あの橋を立て直せば住民側は俺たちを認めるのか。
So if we rebuild the bridge, they'll stop trying to make us leave?
確約は致しかねます。
I'm afraid I can't promise that.
当てにならねえ。
Yeah. But what else are you doing?
申し訳ありません。
Sorry, what I can promise, they'll do everything I
自
can to
分
help
にお
convince
約束できるのは、認められるよう働きかけることだけ
Tagiaki
です。
always never lying to people. He's always just like, I'll do this as straight as possible. Straight-laced as possible. Okay.
橋作りは俺たちだけで。
And we have to build it ourselves?
はい。自分はお手伝いしますが、外部に人手を求めるべきではないでしょ
Yes, I'll help too, but I believe it would be best.
う。業者を頼むには金がかかりますし、それに、他人の手で立て直しても意味がありません。
Professionals cost money, and it won't have the right impact unless it's your own labor.
確かにそうだな。
That makes sense.
おい、やるつもりなのか。
What is
ああ、どうせ体は空いてるんだ。
this? Like we got anything better to
お
do?
前だって日雇い仕事が週に一度あるかないかだろ。
You're lucky if you get one day of paying work a week.
やっても無駄かもしれないが、
Might get us nothing, but so will
やらな
sitting
く
on
た
our
って
asses.
無駄に時間を過ごすだけなんだ。
At least this way there's a
That-
chance.
かもな。
Ah, maybe you're right.
やっていただけます
You'll
か。
do it?
なあ、俺は乗るよ。若い連中にも声をかけてみる。
And I'll hit up some other guys too.
ただ、
Don't get your hopes up
そ
though.
んなには集まらないと思う。あまり期待しないでくれ。
I'm not expecting people to be gung-ho about the idea.
結構です。
Understood.
よろしくお願いします。
うまくいったようね。
That went well.
ひとまずはな。
It's a
けれ
start.
ど、こんな小川でも橋を架けるのって
But building
割
a
合
bridge,
大
I
変
know
なんじゃ
it's a
ない？
small river, but still,
俺もそう思う。大工の経験者がいれば良いのだが、
with luck there'll be a carpenter among the village volunteers.
私は手伝ってもいいの？
What if I help?
いや、
Better not.
やっぱり。
I figured. Muramasa is not a carpenter, but with her supernatural faculties, I have no doubt she'd be an asset. The problem is how I'd explain that to the others. The police do not have Musha. Yeah. I could fabricate an excuse, but that would risk losing their trust and jeopardizing the entire endeavor. Yeah, we'll just have like a giant mechanical... A sapient giant mechanical spider do all the heavy lifting. Yeah.
お前には別件を頼みたい。
I do have a task for you, though.
何？
The tools and lumber arrive on schedule, and by next morning we're ready to begin. As the young man warned, only 4 additional refugees volunteer, bringing their numbers to 6. I'd have liked a few more, but it'll have to do. First to inspect the site.
やはり深い。
Deeper than I thought. How deep?
真ん中あたりは腰まで沈みそうだ
3
な。
feet? Okay, so waist deep in the middle, like 3 feet.
もっ
Alright.
と深い場所もあるかもしれません。
It may not be the deepest part. A few minutes of waiting, and I understand why the locals don't let their children play here. The river isn't just deep, but fast, and the footing is slippery. It also explains why they haven't thrown in a few pontoons.
楽じゃないのは分かってたが。
Didn't think it'd be easy, but this.
どなたか橋を建てた経験のある方はおられますか？
Is there anyone who's worked on a bridge before?
いや、
No way, man.
それはなか
Kind
な
of
か
a
いない
specific
だろ
skill
う。
set. What about you?
一応確かめるが、あんた
未経験です。建築業に関わったことはありますが、
I worked in construction before, but never on a bridge.
いきなり前途多難じゃねえか。
So we're screwed.
ま、川幅は大したことないんだ。
Well, at least
素
the river's
人でも
narrow.
なんとかならないことはないだろう。
Managed somehow, I'm sure.
時間はかかるかもしれませんが、
Absolutely, though it may take some time.
まずはやってみるさ。な、
Can't hurt to try, right?
わかったよ。文句ばっか言ってても始まらないしな。
Let's do it already.
はあ、おい、今日は何やってんだよ、おまわり。
Do it
川
there,
に浸かっ
officer.
たりして。
Out for a swim?
また酔っ払ってんのか？
Oh, I bet he's drunk again.
いえ、橋を建て直すため調査をしているところです。
Actually, I'm looking into how we might go about rebuilding the bridge.
橋を建て直す？
Who's
あ
we?
んたが？そいつら使ってか？
Oh, you mean you and those guys?
そりゃいい。警察も結構やってくれるじゃねえか。
Now we're talking. Nice work, officer.
橋を壊した奴らに罪を認めさせて、償いをさせてるってわけだ。
But just glad to see those good for nothings pay for what they did.
なんだと？
What'd you call us?
よせよ。
それは違います。この方々と橋の破壊とは関係ありません。
Actually, these men are not responsible for the bridge's destruction.
また、自分に命令されて働いているのでもありません。
I should also note
単
they're
に善意から
not
橋
acting
の
under
再
my
建を
orders.
思い立ってくれただけです。
They decided to rebuild the bridge as a gesture of goodwill.
善意ね。
Goodwill, right? Sure.
どうだかね。まあいいさ。てめえで壊したもんをてめえで直すってんなら邪魔することもね
Don't want to rebuild what they broke. I ain't gonna complain.
え。せいぜい頑張ってやりな。
No slacking now, eh? As the men walk off, I realize that more of the locals are watching us now. Their stares aren't warm. I'd in fact call them cold. A prejudice once rooted doesn't topple easily. For now, all we can do is ignore it, and I'll have to help the others understand. Several days later, the bridge is still nowhere near finished. If we had a schedule, I'd say we were behind it. For amateurs, though, we've done a fair job, and at last the abutments, which anchor the bridge to either bank, are close to completion. Oh, it's not too bad.
やっぱり橋桁はいるか。
We'll probably need some girders.
土台の上に板を渡して終わりってわけにもいかないだろう。
You want to just lay planks across and call it a day?
は、安全性に問題があります。
It might raise concerns about safety.
なら真ん中に足も作るか。
Could we put a foundation in the middle too?
それは、
In the middle? That would make sense. The river's narrow enough, it shouldn't be necessary. Still, it would be more stable, and we have plenty of supplies.
作るだけ作ってみても良いかと。
Don't see why not.
そうだな。邪魔にはならないだろうし。
It's not like it'll get in the way. True.
兄弟ができたらやるか。
Do that after we finish the base? Okay.
ええ、
おい。
Hey. I turned to see an elderly gentleman holding an unlit pipe. From his clothing, I'd place him a local. Was he trying to get my attention?
は、
Sorry, can I
な
help
ん
you?
でしょう。ご老人？
いや、
No,
なんでもねえ。
forget it. That night it rains, though the sound is light, it echoes clearly through the house's thin walls. Ever since beginning this project, I stayed at the home of little Hikari. Convenience isn't the primary reason, it's closer to the worksite than the commissioner's residence, but not by a significant degree. For the use of her home, I've repaid the young landlady with food and various necessities, reasoning that a child in her circumstances would find them more useful than money. I did make one attempt to convince her to live with me. She turned it down without hesitation, declaring she'd stay until her mother came back. I did not try to explain how unlikely that was, that mothers who abandon their children almost never return. As alone as she seems, she still has a family as long as she believes she does. I don't have the right to take that from her. The greatest kindness I can offer, then, is to honor her need for this sanctuary and maintain whatever distance she allows. From that distance, she's presently watching. I can't read the look in her eyes.
何か
Something the matter?
影明は
Kageaki?
どうして頑張るの？
Are you trying? Though her question lacks a fair bit of clarity, I don't misunderstand. Did she see me working with the men at the bridge, or was it instinct, the sort that only children possess? Either way, she's right. I am trying.
どうして？
Why?
はそれはみんなに仲良くしてほしいからです
I want everyone to get along.
仲良く？
Get along?
はい
どうして？
Why? This time it takes longer to find the right words. I hope these will do.
和をもって尊しとす
Peace is the noblest pursuit.
和を？
These are
和をもって
peace.
和を持って。
Peace is
尊しとす
the noblest pursuit.
尊しとす。
Noblest pursuit.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. What's that?
昔の偉い人が言った言葉です仲良くすることを大切にしなさい
It's something a very important man wrote a long time ago. It means people should try to get along.
争ってばかりいては何もできない
You get along and work together.
争わず
You can do
助け合
anything.
えば
どんなことでも？
Anything?
はい食べるものを育てたり
Like build a
家を
farm
建てたり
or a house
動物園は？
or a zoo? Yeah, or a zoo.
できます
映画館は？
A movie theater?
できます
Yes.
すごい。
Wow.
はい
Yeah, however,
です仲良くせず争っているとそうしたものは作れないばかりか壊してしまうこともあります
if you don't get along. If you fight, then you can't build anything. And worse, you'll have to break the things you have.
ダメ。
That's bad. That's bad.
はい
Yes, yes it is.
争わないで仲良くするには
How do you get
どう
along
し
with
たらいい
everyone?
の？
あなたが以前
Remember what
し
you
て
did
くだ
to
さっ
me?
たように
ん？
あなたは自分の食べ物を人に与えました自分よりも困っているからと
Gave me your food because you saw that I needed it more than you?
簡単なようで難しい
Many
こと
people
です
can give when they have plenty,
自
but not
分に
many
余裕があ
are
る
strong
とき
to give when they're
他
hurting
人に
too.
優しくできる人は多くいる自分が苦しいと人は自分だけを守り時には他人から奪って自分を救おうとさえする
See, most people, when they're hurting, they only think of helping themselves.
あなたは
Sometimes
そう
they
で
even
はな
take
か
what
った
others have. You did the opposite.
とても立派なこ
Makes
と
you
です
special. Why is this going on for a weirdly long time? I feel like just him deciding to build the bridge is enough to get him out of his depression and show the reader what he could be doing in the future. Like, it's like a short story. It could be a short story of how he just finds a desire to work and do aid work. And it could have ended just with him going to get the materials and building the bridge. But it's still going. Makes you special. Must not be accustomed to compliments. He looks down, blushing like a ripe peach.
誰もが自分のことより他人のことを思いやれば
When everyone puts
争いな
others
ど
first,
起きません
there's no reason to fight.
それは
That's a wonderful thing.
とても良いことです
そうなるといい
Yeah,
ね。
everyone can get along. The end, or does the... I think I expected something more dramatic. When I arrive at the worksite next morning, the damage is already done, and instead of a bridge, I find a jumble of wood fit only for a beaver's nest. Nobody beholding this pile of scrap would think for a moment that some fools tried to build something here. It's obvious what happened. Last night's rain must have caused the river to flood. Beside me, the workers stare at the wreckage in disbelief. Nobody speaks, there is still as statues, and I know exactly how they feel. From time to time, I hear a snicker at our backs, the volume measured precisely for our ears. The locals are walking past. Mistakes were made. The first and greatest was we didn't properly anchor our foundations. At the time, I thought them deep enough, even accounting for the loose soil of the riverbed. Evidently, I was wrong. There were other faults as well, I'm sure. As I'm sure that most of them could have been avoided. We should have been more
まずは
diligent.
問題点を整理しましょう。
Okay, first, we need to identify where we made mistakes.
その上で設計からやり直し。
Then we'll drop a new plan, one which... My only answer is the sound of their breathing, and this conveys only exhaustion. I don't blame them, they knew there was a chance their work might amount to nothing, but no one can truly prepare themselves for a shock like this. Nothing I say will help, and there's work to be done, so someone needs to dismantle this modern art masterpiece. I step into the river.
たく
Of all the...
見てられね
I can't watch this anymore. I turned to see the old man who spoke to me yesterday. He approaches, gnawing his unlit pipe.
え。はい、
Hey,
はい。
can I help you, sir?
おめえら全員投資郎だな。
You're all a bunch of amateurs, aren't you?
あ、
Well, yeah.
誰も橋を建てた経験はありません。
None of us have built a bridge before.
大工やってたやつすらいねえだろ。
Or much anything else, I reckon.
お察しの通りです。
Correct.
それでよく橋を作ろうなんて考えたな。口の聞けねえやつが漫才やるようなもんだ。
You thought you could slap a bridge together? You're like mutes trying to start a chorus line.
そこまで困難なことですか。
I gather we underestimated the difficulties.
俺は隠居してるが、昔は大工だ。
Well, I'll say.
橋を作ったことも何度かある。
I was a carpenter for 40 years, built more than my share of bridges.
動かない地面の上に建てる家より、流れる川と付き合わなきゃいけねえ橋や、余計に面倒だったさ。
How is it still going? I know, right? How is it still going? We get the point! I'll tell you, there's nothing harder. See, a bridge's got to deal with the river always moving around it. It's a whole different game than building a house.
なるほど。
Perhaps this task is simply more than amateurs can
ご
handle.
老人、
Sir?
ん？
What?
元大工で、しかも橋作りの経験者でもあられるあなたの力を
Is
お貸し
there
願
a
えま
chance
せんか。
you'd be willing to lend us your experience?
助言してくださるだけで良いのです。
Please, we only need some direction
Look.
and...
その気がなけりゃ、声かけたりしねえよ。
Would I have said anything if I weren't gonna help?
そっちのおめえら、
You lot.
今から俺の言う通りに動き。まず、そのガラクタを片付けるんだ。
You're taking orders from me now. First, get this wreckage cleared.
ぼさっとしてんじゃねえ。
Get moving.
橋を作るんだろうが。
You want to build a bridge or not?
Oh.
Okay.
で
We'll
は
follow Kageaki till
土
he's
台
like
はこのように
95.
するとして、足は
You do the abutments like this? What about the central foundation?
この川幅でそんなのいらねえよ。ゴミを引っ掛けるだけ。な
The
い
river's
方
too
が
narrow
マシ
for that.
だ。
Anything you stand in the water's gonna just build up debris.
その分、兄弟をしっかり作っとき。
Don't forget that and make sure you build those abutments right,
は
sir.
クメのじいさんじゃねえか。何やってんだ。
Hey, old man Kume, what you doing over there?
そいつらを手伝ってるのか。
Open them now.
まあな。おめえら、今日は休みか。
Got eyes, don't you? If I ain't mistaken, you don't work today.
そうだけど。
So?
なら手を貸せ。
And now you're working this bridge.
は
What
あ
have
お
we
い
got?
おい。なんで俺たちがそんなこと。
ぐだぐだ抜かすな。どうせここの足はないと困るんだろうが。
You're belly aching. You're the ones who need the damn thing.
そりゃ、
Well,
そうだが。
I guess.
こいつらに任せてたらいつまで待っててもできねえぞ。
Leave it to this lot and you'll be waiting till spring.
さっさと着替えてきな。あと他にも暇なやつがいたら連れてこい。
Get your work clothes on, and while you're at it, round up anyone you can. We need more hands.
どうする？
One, two.
どうもこうも。仕
Like, we
方
have
ねえ
this
だろ。
choice. The old man says jump.
まったく、
Better get
じい
jumping.
さんにはかなわね
He's just an old man, but apparently they gotta do what he says.
No.
Well, well. I didn't expect this to happen. Within a few hours, a small army is gathered, refugees and locals working side by side. The divide between them is by no means healed. The looks they exchange are mistrustful and cold, but when a beam needs bracing or a log needs lifting, now there's more hands to hold it. and not always from only one side.
これならば
This is what they needed. It'll take time and there'll be more challenges, but perhaps not so much of the, or so many as I thought.
これも現場に運んだ方がいいんじゃないか。
I think this stuff needs to go over too.
そうだな。
Yeah, let's.
んなんだあんたか。
Oh, it's
こ
you.
ないだの話かい？悪いけどさ、あんたらには頼まないことに決まったよ。払う金がないもんでね。
Yeah, we won't be taking your offer. Don't got the money, you know how it is.
は
What?
何
Oh, that's
なんだっ
crazy.
て
橋の広さは人間一人が通れる程度で良いのでしょうか
How wide should it be? Enough for one man to cross?
もう少しあった方がいいな。二人がすれ違えるくらいに。そうすりゃ荷車も通れる。
That way carts can cross?
それは確かに便利
Excellent
です
point. I just worry we don't have
しかし
enough lumber.
資材が足りないかもしれません
心配すんな。いざとなりゃ、
Oh, we
俺
will.
が昔の仕事場に掛け合ってやるよ。
If we run out, I'll put in a call to a couple people who owe me.
ご造作をかけます
Feel free to add me to that list. Somehow not in prison.
あのとっぽい
You?
兄ちゃん
The
が。
goody two shoes?
まさか。
You don't think it's true, right?
なあ。
ミド、
Mito?
村正
Muramasa. I rise swiftly, though it's well past midnight. I was already wide awake. This is the reason I've been staying at Akari's, to be close to the bridge when the time came. Muramasa continues reporting from her station at the fire tower by the river.
あなたの予測、的中みたいよ。
Looks like your
工
instincts
事
were
の場所
right.
でごそごそやり始めた。
We've got termites!
わかったすぐに行
On
く
my way. I'm already dressed and I slip from the house, running into the night. Let's see some giant. Ready to see some giant termites? I'm guesstimating that they'll be between 4'10" and 6 foot.
人数はわかるか
How many are there?
4人よ。
4.
そのくらいなら抑えられるな
Shouldn't be a problem.
よし
Go ahead and ring the
そ
bell.
こ
いいの？
You sure?
ああ真相を皆に知らしめる必要がある
Yes, we need everyone to see.
了解。
Alright.
なんだ火事が
Shit, that's the fire belt.
冗談じゃね
Few things in the city are feared more than fire. Within minutes of the first clang, the riverside's packed with people arrested from their slumber, and there they see what I wanted them to see. 4 men skulking at the skeletal base of our bridge, in their hands saws, cleavers, and hatchets. Tools that can serve but one purpose.
あんたら
That's
この地域の治安維持に雇われたがっていた筋の方々ですか
these are the men who are offering their protection?
そうだ。
Yeah, that's them. The mystery of the bridge, it turns out, is no mystery at all.
倫理的に問題のあるセールスです
They could use a seminar on ethical sales practice.
治安回復を必要とさせるためにまず治安を悪化させる
So I suppose when your business is
合
protection,
理
the
的
last thing
発
you
想
want
と
is for potential
言えな
clients
く
to
はあ
feel
りませ
safe
んが
without you.
どういうことだよ。
What are you
橋
talking
を
about?
壊したのはこの方々です 今
Well,
も
they
ま
destroyed the
た
old bridge. And
同
they're
じ
planning
こ
to
と
destroy this one too.
旧来の住民と難民との間を裂くために
At each other's throats.
なんだと？
全てはこの地域の住民を資金源として取り込むためだったのでしょうが
I'm afraid this
こう
community
なっては
will not be in need of your
もはや叶
services.
わぬことです何も言わずそのままお帰りをそうして今後一切の手出しを控えていただけるなら住民の方々も難民の方々も
Now, if you're never
あ
seen
えて
this
あな
area
た方
again,
の責任を問おうとはなさらぬでしょ
I suspect no one will bother to report your
う
activities
その
here.
ように自分からも説得し
I
ます
trust that's a satisfactory arrangement.
いらっしゃいまじゃ
Take your arrangement and shove it, Copper. Oh, it's the mafia guy.
六原親鳥の看板で食えた時代じゃねえ稼ぎ場所を作らんことには首も回らんでの
Rukahara ain't paying our bills no more. We gotta make new customers or we're up shit
引
creek.
けって言われて引けるか
That's
い
ours.
無意味な維持です
やっかしいわ余計な邪魔しくさって
Shut your goddamn mouth. You shouldn't have fucked with our plans.
こうなりゃ力ずくで島にしたら
And now we take what we're owed. Steel flashes in the lamplight. The leader of the four has drawn a crude katana, while to either side his underlings brandish their axes and knives. Around me, the crowd recoils in fear, and I step forward. Though I hope to avoid violence, it seems I don't have a choice.
村正、虎鉄をよこせ。
Muramasa, pass me Kotetsu.
了解。
You got it. Armoring would be overkill, and at the same time, it'd be foolish to face four hardened thugs barehanded. Though their eyes widen when Kotetsu appears suddenly in my hands, the four men don't allow their surprise to distract them. Two step forward to attack me head-on, while the remaining two approach from my sides. In general, when facing multiple opponents, it's wise to keep your distance and avoid being surrounded. Here, however, my priority is to ensure the safety of the civilians present. I mustn't give these men a chance to turn their blades on them, and so instead of retreating, I advance towards the enemy on my right. The enemy braces for my attack, and immediately I turn away to meet instead his ally who's striking at my flank. The blunt edge of my blade lands true, collapsing the man's collarbone and driving the air from his lungs. He crumples without a whimper. Die, punk! A shout of pure rage yanks my focus to the left, and at the same instant, an electric tingle at my forehead warns me of danger. A mighty blow falls from the sky, determined to split me in two. I get my sword up just in time, knowing I don't have the strength to block it. I deflect the blow to the side. It passes millimeters from my ear, taking several hairs with it. My sword circles above my head, then strikes from below, taking the man beneath his right arm. Even considering I held back my strength, such a blow is more than even the hardest man can endure. He drops, foaming their leader down. That's just leaving two more. Afterwards, while catching my breath, I wiped the sweat from my brow. The fight, though short, was exhausting. Fortunately, I have sustained no injury, and the four thugs, now unconscious on the ground, will all survive their wounds. Everyone lives! It's about the best outcome one can expect from a fight.
村正、
Any more?
他に仲間はいないな。
Muramasa?
大丈夫よ。
Oh, that was it. I thought we were in the ending. I know, right? I let my body relax. All in all, I'd consider it a victory. Of course, it's not as though the neighborhood's problems will go away. They're a long way away from good relations, but at least now there's one less force acting to keep them apart. Something's odd. The crowd is silent but watchful. Why are they all staring? Oh right, my sword. I shouldn't wave it about. Most people are fearful in the presence of a naked blade. Silently, I instruct Muramasa to collect Kotetsu.
消えた。
Sword?
おい、
It disappeared.
まさか
I don't really think
あ
he's...
の話。
Too late, I realized my mistake. Just now, my sword would have appeared to vanish. I should have known this would only upset them. I need to explain, but how?
あんた、
Is it you? This end is just the gateway to a new beginning? May as well be. But a local speaks first, long before any excuse comes to mind.
あんた、
Are you the one they're talking about?
今までに何人も殺してきた殺人鬼の武者だって聞いたんだけ
There's
ど。
a Musha out here killing people, is it true? What?
誰でも構わず、
He'll kill
女
anyone.
でも子供でも殺してきたって
Women? Kids?
聞いたん
I mean, that's
だ
what
け
I
ど。
heard. Heard? Where? Who told them that? Who told them the truth?
何を言い出すんだよ、いきなり。
いや、俺だって信じちゃいなかったけど、
I didn't believe it myself.
今の見たろ。ヤクザをあっさり片付けるし、刀は出たり消えたりするし、
Saw what he did, the way he fought, the trick with the disappearing sword.
あんな真似、武者にしかできねえよ。
I'm telling you, it's Musha shit.
それは、
Yeah, but
待てって。このおまわりさんがもし武者だとしてもだ。まさか殺人鬼ってことはないだろう。
wait a second, guys. Maybe he's a Musha, but that doesn't mean he's a killer.
なあ。
I mean, you're not right, right?
おい、なんで黙ってるんだよ。
Why are you just standing there?
なんか言ってくれよ。
Say something. Say something? What? That I'm not a killer? That I'm an innocent man?
あんた、
No way.
まさか。
Are you really? It begins with a gasp, a panicked squeak rising from every throat at once. And an instant later, the crowd starts to boil.
どけよてめえ。
Out of my
う
way!
せ、押すな。
Get your hands off me!
なんだと。そもそもてめえらがあの変な男を引っ張りこ。知らねえよ。
We didn't know he was a psycho.
俺たち相手にけしかけるつもりだったのか。
Oh, shoot, you're gonna sick him on us.
知らねえってんだろ。お前らこそ俺たちを殺させるつもりで。
Motherfucker, that's the kind of move you'd make. Tiny glimmer of consensus vanished, and now once again they're at each other's throats, pushing, fighting to be the first to flee. At the center, like the core of a flame, I stand, the one that inspired them.
やめろ。
Please.
やめろ。
Ah. Silence drops like a hammer. All eyes go to me. And in every eye, the same emotion, precisely what a killer deserves. Terror. I'm drinking again, though the liquor is tasteless. Like a fool, yeah, I'm a fool. A fool for thinking I could ever bring peace, that I could ever do some good. I knew what would happen, didn't I? The killer, hands covered in blood, preaching fellowship and harmony. Of course the sins of his past would undo him, of course he'd be exposed. And thus the false prophet crawls off the stage and the audience bursts into laughter. A farce, that's all it was. A madman's twisted dream. Scream is over now. I see myself for what I am. And I know the truth that I can do nothing.
あなたはよくやったと思う。恥じることは何もない。
You have nothing to be ashamed of? No? What of the lives I took? What of Mother and Hikaru, who I swore to protect? Is that not cause for shame? What of the chaos I loosed on the world, which I could have prevented if I had the will? Is that not cause for shame? Of course it is, and worst of all,
恥はある。
greatest shame
犯した罪。
is that I can't do anything about
何
it.
一つ報いていないこと。
If only I could pay for my crimes or failing that set something right, but I can't. I go on, worthless.
それが恥だ。
Why?
なぜ
Why
生
am
き
I
ている？
alive?
なぜ生きているのだ？俺は。なぜ
Why do I
俺
go on?
は。
この
You?
そんな資格もないのに。
We got drunk, depressed guy in Tsundere here. Alright. What right do I have? What right?
生きて。
Oh, there's the karate chop to the face. No? The change is too sudden and too dramatic. It takes my drink-addled brain a minute to process what happened. Are these threads Muramasa's?
ああもう
Ah! What's going on now? What's going on now?
頭きた
Okay, I'm mad. I'm mad.
おい。
Muramasa?
あなたって人はどうしてそこまでどうしようもなくてどうにもならなくてどうにもしようがないのよ
Are you such a sad, sorry, hopeless sack of blubber?
どう
Blubber?
いや、
Never mind.
それよりこの拘束を。落ち着け、村正。
Muramasa, calm down, please.
いや
No. Oh.
生きてたっていいじゃない何もできなくたって
What's wrong with being alive? So what if you can't do anything? You still have the right to live.
なんであなたはその程度にすら自分を許せないのよ
Why can't you allow yourself that?
俺は。
ミミズだってオケラだってアメンボだって呼吸したり泥食べたり体液吸ったりする以外特に何もしてないけど堂々生きてるでしょだから
Plenty of animals
あ
who
な
do
たも
nothing
生きてていいのよ
There's plenty of animals who do nothing but eat dirt or drink people's blood, but worms and fleas go right on living happy as can be, right? Why can't you? When you open your eyes, all you see is booba. Do you need anything else?
いや、待
I'm
て。
not.
今いい話してるんだから
Shut up.
黙って聞いて
I'm on a roll here.
とてもそうは思えないのだ
Say
が。
生きている意味がないって思うなら逆に考えなさいこうして生きているだけで意味があるんだって
You're sitting here whining, your life has no meaning. But have you ever stopped to think that maybe life itself is a meaning?
お天道様は意味のないことなんてしないのあなたが今そうして生きているってことはそれでいいのよ
Everything under the sun has meaning. Maybe you being alive like this is someone's way of telling you it's okay.
それは。
何よ
That's what? Magical thinking, the sort people use to grant themselves forgiveness?
俺は罪を犯している。
I've killed, it's the truth.
これは完璧な事実だ。だから。
I have to take responsibility.
わかりますわかります。自分のしたこと全部にきっちりちゃんと責任を取れる人がいたらそれは立派でしょうとも。
Right, responsibility. Well, why yes, it would be wonderful if you could take responsibility for everything you've done.
でもあなたがそうなれるかどうかは別よ。
But that doesn't mean you can.
あなたは自分をどれほどすごいと思ってるの？人並み外れて優れた傑物だって思ってる？
How special do you think you are, huh? How perfect and amazing?
そうでは。
I don't.
この世の中、責任の重さに耐えられなくて逃げたり忘れたりしながら生きてる人はいっぱいいる。あなたの理屈だとそういう人たちは皆生きる価値なんかないってわけ？
The world's full of people who haven't made up for their mistakes, or those who've run from them, or those who've just forgotten. Are you telling me those people have no right to live?
いいよ。
No, I.
そうよ。
Right, those
そ
are
んなの
normal
単
people?
に普通の人間よ。世の中は普通の人間が集まってできてる。あなたは自分がその中の一人に過ぎないんだって認められないの？
Why can't you accept you're one of them?
だが、
It's not that simple. Murder isn't another mistake. Go on as if all those lies meant nothing. How can I live with myself?
ああ、そう。わかった。思い知らせてあげないとダメなのね。
I'll prove it to you.
何？
What?
と
Oh boy, here we go. What are you? Here we go. A flash of silver thread accompanies the sensation of a knife's caress. I'm suddenly cold, though why, that's no mystery. My clothes lie in tatters around me.
これでこう。
Okay, if I sit like this... Yeah, I see.
待て。
Wait,
いいから
wait.
待て。
What are you doing with those feet? This is the artist's favorite character to draw, right? Right? I believe that was commented earlier. Tsundere finally making the first move. All right.
こうしてやれば反応しない男はいないってカカ様が昔。
ATK loves to draw Muramasa. This trick is guaranteed to work on any man. At least that's what my mother said.
あのありの
Your
人。
mother. Is this what they taught in the Middle Ages? The first touch for bearskin sends a shiver up my spine. My body jerks, an entirely involuntary reaction. I guess we were missing a scene with her. Sure. It moved.
おっかないなら触るな。
If you're that afraid of it, stop.
別
Who said I was
に
afraid?
だらしない姿ね。
Afraid?
こんなことされてこんな風にしちゃうなんて
The delivery. How does it feel? Knowing you're helpless to resist.
神々で何を言ってるんだお前は。
The rope. I can barely understand you through the stammering. Clearly you're not well. And I thought I was the drunkard.
いいのよ。とにかく思い知らせてあげるんだから。
I'm perfectly fine, thank you. Well enough to teach you a lesson.
何を？
What lesson?
あなたなんか全然大した人間じゃないってことよ。卑しい生き方はできないって思ってるなら卑しい人間にしてあげる。
You're not as special as you think. You got as much right to be a scrub as anyone.
私のなぶり者になって無様な姿を。なんかビクッとしてるこれ。
You beg for mercy, then you'll know. Why does it keep doing that?
無様ね、ミド。
Pathetic, Mito.
どう見てもお前の方があまりにも必死だ。
Says the woman who can barely look at it. Censored version, changing the CGs? Maybe?
そんなこと言っていられるのも今の間よ。
Just you wait.
男の人の体はこういうのに耐えられないようにできてるん
I
でし
know
ょ。
your weakness.
こうすれば。
I just need to.
なんで大きくなる
Why is it doing that? Why is
そ
it
ん
doing
な無責任なことを言われても
that? You
困る。
make it sound like my fault. Hey, he's just tied up there, stuck in spider thread. What's he supposed to do?
こういうものなの？
Is that how it's supposed to work?
まあ、
Well, yeah.
こういうものだが、
What did you think would happen?
どうなると思っていたんだ。
予定通りよ。
Have you now?
必死すぎる。
Please save me.
こういうことよ。あなたがどんなに否定したって疑問をぶつけたって卑しいんだって。
Do you get it now? It doesn't matter how worthless you tell yourself
生
you
き
are.
てるものは生きてるんだから。それに意味がないなんて言わせない。
And that's what's important.
卑しいと思うなら卑しいなりに生きればいいでしょ。
Can't fix all your mistakes. Accept it.
村正
Muramasa.
チリアクタだと思えばいい。罪も責任も自分には背負う力なんてないんだって認めればいい。
Like a worm, if that's what it takes. I'm just thinking to myself, is Muramasa wearing heel socks? I think those are socks that only cover, like, her heel and the middle of her foot, right? I think that's what it looks like? I don't know why you'd want bare toes, but I guess that's a thing.
私が
I'll show you how.
あなたを貶めてあげるから。
Muramasa straddles me defenseless. Don't. For sandals? Yeah, it might work. I guess wearing socks and sandals is bad civ, so if they're toeless socks, then it's slightly more appropriate in summer. Despite my protest, Muramasa descends, our organs touch but lightly. No further progress is made.
もういいだろ
That's enough, you made your
やめ
point.
ておけ
何よ、嫌なの。
You don't want it?
嫌ではないが
I just not like
これは
一度私のこと押し倒したく
after
せ
what you
に
did before?
あんなことして
And then just leaving me there
途
like
中
that?
で放り出して。ああもう思い出したらまた腹立ってきたじゃないの。
I'm mad all over again.
あの時
That
は
was...
うるさい黙れ。こうしたかったんでしょ。
I don't want to hear it. This is what you want, right? The tension abruptly departs her lower body, bringing her full weight down on me.
バカ
You fool. I whisper.
バカじゃない。
You're the one who's being foolish.
あなたこういうことが気持ちいいんでしょ。
But
構わ
men
ない
like,
けど
right? Go on.
凶暴なので
Have your way with me.
好きなようにしたらいいのよ。
Belatedly, I recall Muramasa's intent in light of which a different course beckons. Her threads no longer have me bound. I seize her lips, letting loose my urges. I was wrong to coax and coddle her pleasure. Only my pleasure matters. I'm swine. Something black and thick like tar fills my thundering heart. Joy, yes, the joy of conquest. In this moment I know the truth. I'm indeed alive. I guess so. I suppose so. And thus, as I lie with Muramasa in the lingering heat of our passion, my heart at last reaches that most liberating state. Despair. I believe myself unworthy of life or love, yet still my flesh submits to its urges at the slightest provocation. I'm a worm, this is the truth. And if I accept it, then the truth is all that it needs to be.
村正
Muramasa.
お前は
Or something else.
めちゃくちゃだ
Smiling, I tug on her ear, which elicits a faint grumble. Honestly, could she conceive of no other course? Her naivety astounds. At the same time, it also fills me to bursting with warmth and affection. Yes, affection for this pure-hearted soul.
村正
Muramasa.
一緒にいてくれるか
Will you stay by my side? Yeah. He settles over me, a feeling I haven't known since the day I murdered my mother. Where before I sought in Muramasa the cold of hard-forged steel, now it's her warmth that is precious. Another sign of my moral turpitude. I acknowledge and shelve it with all the others. Sleep beckons, I close my eyes, surrendering to its embrace. And for the first time in 2 years, I rest. I assume this is the last line? That would be so. No! No! You've gotta be kidding me! How is this not over yet? When I awaken at dawn's first light, Muramasa is gone from my bed, and from the kitchen I heard the crisp thwack of a cleaver.
朝食を作っているのか
Cooking?
ええ、少し待っていて。
I'll be done in a minute. While I wait, I take stock of my condition. I feel relieved as of a terrible burden. The change from my previous state is jarring. Where before there was desperate soul-searing guilt, now there's only acceptance. I'm alive. Minato Kageyaki is a man like any other, and it's not for me to pass judgment on him. That's the province of heaven and of society which reflects heaven's law. I see it now. In the end, it all came down to pride. Yes, I was proud. To think I could be more than I am, that I could decide my own worth and pronounce my own sentence. My time will come, I'm certain of it. One day I'll pay for my crimes. But until that day comes, I'll go on
そうい
living.
うことか。
Is that what it means to be human? It must be. With the melody of Muramasa's labors in my ears, I let myself drift as on a warm summer lake, not content, not happy, but finally at peace. An hour passes.
まだ
Is everything alright?
もうちょっと。
Just a minute.
そうか。
There's no hurry.
いや、別にせかしたのではないから。
No hurry, no hurry. Come to think of it, I've read that the heirs to Amishi smithing clans spend their entire lives in training. This leaves little time for more mundane tasks, which are generally relegated to the lay disciples, or such servants as the family can hire. Which raises the question, does Muramasa even know how to cook? Very good. What is that noise?
もう少し。もう少しね。
Almost. Seriously, are we not over yet? If you say so. I'm certain there were no axes or hammers in the kitchen last time I checked.
もう少し。
Almost done, guys.
Gatling gun.
Is that a Gatling gun? Alright, jackhammer, what is...
すぐだから。
Almost done, I promise, I promise!
おう、
Alright. For a moment there, I could have sworn I saw a giant spider run past, pots and cleavers of varying size clutched in each of its 8 limbs. Of course, it had to be my imagination. One only needs 2 limbs to cook. At last, the noises cease. It's over.
終わりを始める。死を行う。空を表
The
す。
end begins, death awakens, the void opens wide.
なぜだ。
You've gotta be kidding me! In the end, it takes my intervention, but we manage to salvage something from the wreckage in time for an early lunch. Look, it's no big deal. It's just gonna be a railgun.
違うのよ。
What was it?
これでも料理くらいできるんだから。
What's the new railgun name? It's not Magats, it's something else. You have to believe me, I know how to cook.
ただ、ほら、
It's
道
just
具や
things have
食材
changed,
が
you know?
昔と違うし、それでよ。それでちょっと戸惑っただけなの。
We didn't have all these contraptions 500 years ago.
そうか。
Of course. Keiichi's time. We're at Keiichi's level. Look, I don't know if we're at Keiichi's level. Let's just think about this for 2 seconds. She didn't destroy the house or burn it down. Accidentally. She might have almost blown up the entire city block. But it was gonna be on purpose. Of course. I refrain from asking whether she grew up with rice and basic cutlery. I'm sure there must be many other things she found confusing. After all, I see no other way to explain the calamity that befell our kitchen.
明日はちゃんとやるから。
I'll do better tomorrow.
いや、自重して
Please
くれ。
don't. Please don't. When Miss Makimura returns from her leave, I'd rather not give her a heart attack.
でも、
But I could...
俺は朝飯を抜いても平気な方だ。
I am fine skipping breakfast.
それ、健康に良くないのよ。
It's not healthy.
出刃包丁で電磁バットをしようとする剣を止めるのも、あまり健康的な体験ではなかったんだが。
Neither is trying to stop a Tsurugi from launching kitchen knives via railgun.
うーん。
What do you mean there's something wrong with that? It was effective. Maybe. We didn't see if it did anything, right? It could have cooked the food perfectly. Who knows if firing knives via railgun isn't the perfect way to cook a chicken breast. Come on. As Muramasa grumbles, a gaggle of a gaggle of children run past. When I invited Muramasa outside for a walk, it was without a destination in mind, but this bright Sunday morning is the perfect climate, and our wandering calms my spirit.
いい陽気ね。
It's nice out.
いつもこうなら、冬も悪くない。
We're always like this. I wouldn't mind winter so much.
寒いのは嫌いなの？
Don't like the
ま
cold?
あそうだな。
You
人
do?
並みに。寒さよりは暑さの方が
Oh, I
苦手
prefer
だ
it to
が。
the heat of summer.
私は寒い方が嫌いだったかしら。今はこんなだからどちらも平気だけど。
I don't think about the seasons much. Makes no difference to a Tsurugi, but I think I preferred summer back then.
冬の寒さは着込んで暖房を効かせれば耐えられるが、夏の暑さは裸になっても耐え難い
You。can fight the cold, but not the heat. Was it different in your time?
ないけど、
No, we had fire, of
わかる
course.
気はする。でもね、
Fuel. Fuel?
寒いからって火を使ってばかりいると、蓄えがかさむのよ。もう本当に。
You wouldn't believe how
だから
fast it
冬
ran
は
out.
食いぶちが減るのを覚悟して、
Or
ぬ
how
くも
hard
る
it
か
was to get
その
more.
逆かになるわけ。
Most of the time we had to choose stay warm or stay fed.
おかげで冬にはいい思い出がないのよね。
Winters were never fun.
あ
I see.
あ、な
The
るほど。
expensive heating is still a concern even with modern technology. Of course, it would have been worse in Muramasa's time.
その点、夏の暑さはどうにもならない分、最初から諦めがつくし。
And then in summer, there's nothing you can do about the heat. That makes it easier to accept.
逆の発想だな。
Never thought about that way.
まあ、
I mean,
春と秋の方がいいに決まってるけど、
point is you can't beat spring and fall.
全くだ。
Couldn't agree more.
海の向こうのどこかには
I like
常
that. I
春
like
の
that.
国もあるんでしょ？
I heard there's places where the seasons never change, where it's always spring. I fucking wish there was.
あ
It's true.
そんなところに住めたら
It'd be
幸
nice
せ
to live in a
ね。
place like that. I don't think there's anywhere with a nice, comfortable perma spring, but you know, perma winter and perma summer we got. Yeah, it would be nice to live in a place like that.
少
Do I
し
think I'd miss the seasons?
寂しい気もするが。
そっ
At
か。
least they have their charm.
四季の風情の移り変わりも楽しめないってことだものね。
夏の夜も冬
Summer
景色
stars,
も
the winter snow.
失うとなれば惜しい。
つまり、諦めが肝心で、贅沢を言い始めるとキリがないってことか
What
し
you're
ら。
saying is we should be happy with what we got?
さて、
Who knows?
いずれ科学の進歩で好みの季節を自由に選べるようになるか
Maybe
もしれない。
scientists will find a way to let people choose the seasons for themselves.
そうなればどんな要求でも叶う。人類の英知の勝利だ。
Everyone will be happy. The human race will have triumphed over nature at once. And heavy snow's winter gang will just randomly ruin people's day on a whim.
そうね。
うん。
それ、
You really call that
実は
triumph?
勝ったつもりで負けてない？
やはりそう思うか。
Yeah, I was wondering that myself.
風情がない
Wouldn't
よ
be
う
the
な。
same.
風情はないな。
No, it wouldn't. I turned my face around ahead. Our feet, like our tongues, wander without aim. Without aim, but not without purpose. This time itself is precious.
ねえ、ミド。
ん？
あれ、何かしら？
What's going on over there?
公園か。
The park? It's crowded.
人が集まっているな。行ってみるか。
Can we take a look?
Mm.
Okay. Oh my god. Every time I think this thing might end at some point, it just goes on. On most days, this park is largely empty. It has little in the way of amenities. Today, however, it's bustling.
市？
A market?
古物市だな。
Flea market. Rugs and plastic sheets lie spread upon the grass, each covered with its owner's wares. Such markets, while always familiar in Kamakura, have grown much more common in recent months, as the influx of refugees from across Yamato bring new buyers and sellers alike. Indeed, most of these today appear to be the sort. Both of these hoping to make a few bitter coins from what they could salvage from the wreckage of their homes, and those willing to spend those few coins on what necessities they could not. Of course, the locals have a presence as well, and shaking Muramasa gently out of her surprise, I direct her attention to one such vendor sitting nearby. Yeah, remember when this VN ended like 3 hours ago?
いらっしゃい。お手に取ってどうぞ。
Come, have a look, see what strikes your fancy. A young woman greets us with enthusiasm. I crouch down for a better look at her wares, pots, tea bowls, metalworks, and handicrafts. Clearly not a random selection of things found in a dusty shed. Kamakura has many stores dealing in antiques. One of these must have dispatched her.
ミド、こういうの好きでしょ。
You like this kind of thing, don't you? They even have a background for this. Like, this is a unique background.
わかるか？
How'd you know?
なんとなく。
It shows.
なんかそういうオーラが出てるっすよ。
You have a certain aura. Apparently.
良いものを置いていますね。
You have some nice pieces.
わかるわかる。かあ、嬉しくなるね。違いのわかるお客様に巡り会えると。
I wouldn't expect historical antiques to be on sale at one of these markets. Thank you, sir. I can tell how happy I am to have a customer, Reed Sucker, who appreciates fine art.
さあ、どんどん見てくださいな。
Please take your time.
今何か変じゃなかった？変っていうか不穏っていうか。
Did you just hear something? This is another route? You don't know why everyone expects it to end? Because the end credits rolled! Surely it's ending. Is it actually another route? Like, 30 hours?
そうか。
What? While answering, I reach for a piece that's caught my eye. Tenmoku Table, brightly glazed.
さすがだね、お客さん。そいつはいいものだよ。裏千家の総称も絶賛した丸山外苑のクジャク天目だ。
Excellent choice, sir. That's a Kujaku Tenmoku by Maruyama Gai. Or Gai? Yeah, I think that's it. Who is praised by the Urasenke masters. Oh?
これが。
もちろん新作保証。箱もあるし、蓋の裏にはちゃんと裏千家の総称直筆間違いなしの箱書きも。
It's guaranteed original or convincing forgery. The box carries the maker's very own signature.
やっぱり何か。
No, I definitely heard something.
お値段は？
How much?
本当なら万って話になるんですけどね。最近は景気が悪いし、お客さんは目の高いお人だしね。
Well, I'd normally ask for 10,000, but since times are tough and you're such a discerning gentleman,
3000円でどうかな？
I'll let you have it for 3.
それはお安い。
That's a very good deal. Assuming its provenance checks out, smiling non-committally, I replace the object and turn my attention to the richly colored pot at its side.
こちらは？
And this?
信楽焼ですよ。こいつもめったにない一品でね。
Shigaraki ware. Excellent. Another excellent
いい
choice.
でしょ。
See the pattern?
この
Nice,
開きも
right?
なかなか。
Very.
言うはないけど、そこがまた味だ。
It's not glazed, but it has its own charm.
確かに。
手触りも素晴らしい。どうぞどうぞお客さん。
Go on, give it a touch. Takes my hand and guides it to the pot.
どうですか？
Well,
良い肌です。
an excellent texture.
なんかこう感動的で背筋にゾクゾクくるでしょ。
Sends shivers up your spine.
はい。
Yeah.
お客さんとこうしているだけで私もだんだんとおかしな気分に。
Such a firm grip. My tummy's all aflutter.
骨董屋さん。
Yes.
何の話をしてるのよ。
What are you two doing?
壺だが。
Examining this pot.
壺ですよ。
What does it look like?
そう。
Right.
で、どうですお客さん。
How about it? Her fingers slowly crawl up the back of my hand.
ちょいとお高くつきますが、ご損はさせませんよ。
It'll cost you a little, but she's worth every penny.
いかほど。
How much?
お客さんの色男ぶりに負けに負けて。
For a big, handsome man like you. With a silken touch, she traces a number on my palm.
こんなもんで。
What do you say?
それは骨董屋さん。手
I'm
が出ない。
afraid. That's beyond my means.
いやーん困ったな。こいつは江戸か。ひょっとするとそれ以前って代物でね。これ以上安くはできないんだな。
But sir, this piece is at least Edo period. Maybe even older? I can't let it go for less.
でも仕方ない。商売にならなくなるけどお客さんのため。これでどうだ？
Of course, if you insist, I'll be taking a loss, but what do you say to this?
さて。
Well,
そろそろ手離したらどうかしら。
think you could let go of his hand now?
ご賞ですよお客さん。私にも暮らしがあるんですからさ。
Please, sir, I have to eat.
ここは気持ちよくこのお値段で折り合いをつけましょう。
This price will make both of us happy.
しかし、これは悩ましい。
Still a hefty sum.
そう言わずそう言わず。お買い上げいただいたら私お客さんのお宅までちゃんとお届けしますよ。
Now, I'll tell you what. Buy the pot and I'll deliver it
ちょ
personally.
っとしたサービスもできるかも。
Might even throw in a few extras. That's right. That's right, they're gonna throw in a few extras. So on top of... So let's just think of this. If she's taking a loss and throwing in extras, surely you should see the red flags, right? She claims she's taking a loss on the product, but then she throws in extras. He punctuates this last bit by pressing up against me, and I feel like I'm missing something.
みとう
Ito?
村正
Muramasa?
その壺欲しいの？
You really want that pot?
まあ
It's a nice piece.
悪くないとは思っ
じゃあ10分の1に値切って。
Okay, give her a tenth of what she's asking.
いきなりか
10?
おーいおいおいおい、姉さんちょっと耳が長いからって調子に乗ってもらっちゃ困るね。
Now hold it right there, discarding my hand, the vendor wheels on Muramasa. If you think those ears of yours are gonna get you a free pass on my plot, you got another thing coming! Somehow, despite her diminutive stature, she manages to seem like she's staring down her nose at my companion.
うちの品物にケチつけようってのかな、それとも買い叩こうってのかな。
You
ど
got
っち
some
にした
beef
って
with
そ
what I'm
いつをやっちゃもう大事なお客さんじゃないな。
Trying to take me for a sucker? We're gonna have a
ど
problem.
っちでもありません。正しい値段をつけてあげただけよ。
I'm helping you work out a fair price, that's all.
いいのかい、
Fair?
そんなこと言っちまって。
You call that fair?
北極の熊で面白え。こうなりゃとことん勝負だ。耳がくるくる回る姉さんよ。
Fine, if that's how you want it. Looks like we're having a showdown. You're not gonna ear spin your way out of this one.
回るか。
My ears don't spin.
じゃあ一つ教えていただきましょう。この年代物の信楽壺と今のふざけた値踏み、どういう理屈でひっつき合わせるのか。
Let's hear it then. What makes you think you can buy this antique for next to
理
nothing?
屈ってほどの話でもないけど、
Honestly, I don't know much about prices.
逃げ工場は聞けないな。
You're not getting away with that easily.
年代物じゃないでしょこれ。
That's not really an antique, is it?
どういうことかな。こいつは間違いなく江戸の昔の。
Oh, an antique? I'll have you know this is a genuine
ミ
Edo.
ド、江戸っていつ？
Mido, how old would that make it?
100年ほど前に終わった時代だ
100 years at least.
はったり聞かせすぎね。実際はその半分もないじゃないの。
It's not even half that.
姉さん、適当ふかしちゃいけな
You
い。
think you could just make stuff up?
22年と4ヶ月。
22 years and 4 months.
は
22年と4ヶ月よ。この壺ができてから。
22
あな
years
た
and 4 months. That's how
こ
old
れの
it
由
is.
来を知ってるなら計
Do
算
the
してみな
math
さ
if
い
he
な。
knows who made it.
ぴったり合ってるはずだから。
I'll bet you I'm right.
そこまでわかるのか
How do you know?
私を何だと思ってる
What do you
の？
take me for?
骨董に目が利くとは
Non-expert in antiques?
それはそうだけどね。でも土や鉱物からできたものならその年くらい一目でわかるってば。
I'm not, but show me something made from dirt and rocks and you'd better believe I'll know how old it is.
くそー。これだからエミシって連中は商売がやりづらくてしょうがない。
This is why I hate Amishi. Can't give an honest businesswoman a break.
もういいよ。その値段で持ってけ。
You win. The pot's yours at her price. The woman, deflated, sinks into the ground, hugging her knees to her chest. I feel a little sorry for
ど
her.
うする？
Gonna take it?
やめておこ
Actually,
うなら村正
what's the oldest piece
ここに
here?
ある品の中で一番古いものはどれだ
そこの小さくて丸いやつ
He。points to a lonely corner of the mat. That small, roundish one.
この茶入れか
You mean this tea caddy? I pick it up. It's covered in dust.
ピンポイントなのさ。そいつは安っぽく見せといて、クロートが掘り出し物ゲットとお喜びのところに値をふっかけてがっかりさせる罠なんだけどね。
Right again. That's my bait for bargain hunters. Get all excited thinking they found a deal and hit them with the real price and break their
あ
spirit.
なたとことん性根が曲がってない？
And that's what you call an honest business.
耳でカスタネット打てる姉さんにはもう逆らいませんよ。適正価格でどうぞ。でもそれ以上の勉強はどうかご勘弁。
Lady, you got my number. Anything you want to do is for a fair price, so will you please buy something and go back to playing castanets with your earlobes? Wiping the dust off, I see the ceramic indeed has the silken finish of a masterwork. The ivory lid is a splendid touch. When I lift the lid, however, I find a new layer of dust lying thick within, and I take a breath, blowing it out.
何してるの？
That was silly.
思ったよりひどかった
It was worse than I thought. I wipe at the dust covering my face.
待ちなさい。
Wait,
今拭い
wait,
てあ
let me
げる
do
から
it.
ほら
In your
Go.
head.
うん。
あなたって
I like
た
a
まに
big
子供っ
fool
ぽいこと
sometimes.
するのよね。
そうか。
Sometimes. Really?
そうよ。
Yep.
うん耳にまで飛んでる。
There's even dust in your ears?
指を入れられると
That
くすぐ
tickles?
我慢する。
There's more to go.
逆もか。
The other ear
も
too.
ちろん。
Of course, look that way.
お客さん、なんか商売の邪魔っていうか、見てると一人の寂しさが身にこたえるっていうか。
We're just gonna flirt. Think you could take it elsewhere?
なんか涙出てきた。イチャつくならあっち行けよ。
It's a hard thing for a single girl to watch. Well, you're trying to cheat people out of their hard-earned money. You might deserve that. After examining a few more stalls, we sit on a bench to rest our feet. Navigating the crowd was more tiring than I expected.
付き合わせたな。
Thanks for humoring me.
私も楽しかったし。けど、回ったのって似たような店ばかりね。
Oh, I enjoyed it too. Still, these stores are kind of all the same.
ああ。あのような店。つまり骨董屋だが、
When I was young, I dreamt of owning one, you know?
大人になったらあれをやろうと。
An antique shop, that is.
そうなの。
Oh, really?
昔の話だが、幼心に描いた夢はまだ胸に残っている。
Yeah, I think that dream's still a part of me. Yeah, there's no chance he's gonna run the antique shop without being carried by Muramasa. Looking up at the sky, I curl my fingers as if to grasp a fading memory.
薄暗い店の中で、日がない一日カビ臭い空気を吸いながら、万暦の壺を磨き続ける。
To spend my days amidst
So-
dark, musty shelves, tending
そ
to
んな
work
暮らしが
passed
憧れだ
down
った
through the。ages. It seemed an enchanting life. Uh-huh.
叶わなかったがな。
Just a child's dream in the end.
それはわからないでしょ。
I leave it at that.
今からやってもいいじゃ
Not
ない。
too late.
そうか。そうだな。
Maybe it's not.
Hmm.
What
お
about
前
you?
は
Oh, me?
何かなかったのか。
私は生まれが生まれだったから。
It wasn't an option for me.
恵美氏の鍛冶師の家に生まれついた者は剣になる以外の将来なんて考えないものよ。
When you're born to become a smith, a tsurugi, you don't wonder what else there might be.
そうか。
I see. We may each only walk one path, still, having no choice in the matter. Strikes me as sad.
まあ全くってわけじゃないかな。
I mean, there was one thing.
あるのか。
ほんのちょっといいなーって思ったことならね。小さかった頃に。
When I was very little, I thought it would be nice to wear beautiful clothes every day,
宮中の女官は
like the ladies at court,
毎
you know?
日綺麗な衣装を着てるって聞いて、
Ladies in waiting.
私もなりたいってつい言っちゃったことがある。
That's what I wanted to be.
カカ様に聞かれてこっぴどく怒られたけどね。
When I told my mother I got such a scolding,
宮中の女官か。
the lady in waiting. Clothing she speaks of was likely the style called the Juni Hitoe. There were other forms of dress back then, but that would have been the most glamorous to a child of the time.
何？
What?
いや、
No, it's just...
できればと思ったんだが。
Actually, my question. Muramasa's clothes aren't real. She's made of metal. And can shapeshift into a human form. Can she change her clothes at will, too? Or does she have to go to the form she was actually in before she transformed directly? She hasn't tried that. I'm curious if she can change her outfit. Nah, it's just...
その夢を叶えてやるのはどうも難し
I
そう
don't
だ。
think I can make that happen. Muramasa blinks and bursts out laughing.
いいのよ、バカね。何も知らない小さな頃にちょっと憧れただけなんだから。
You have a question. Do you think it's dumb? The structure of story, prologue, build-up, climax, downtime, pseudo, epilogue, build-up, apparently another climax, epilogue, builds the flow? If you think of this as a built-in sequel, or just an extended story, it kind of works. The only issue I'd have is that you're not really expecting it. It should be, it would be nice if it was more clear that you're getting a second story when it's the only issue, right? So I don't think anyone actually cares about that story structure. It's pretty standard, really. That's a TV show structure. That's like every popular long-running, every popular show. Like, just name a show that runs that doesn't do that. We go build up. You know, we have like build up, climax, then some downtime, and then we build up again, because we gotta have up and downs. Make it clear where the high points are for long-running shows. I mean, it works for short-running shows too. Like, you want something that works like this? How about like Higurashi? Okay? Higurashi works. Higurashi has 8 arcs. 8 of them. Happens in order. Build up, climax, epilogue. Build up, climax, epilogue. Build up, climax, epilogue. Every single time. I'm okay with this. The only thing that's annoying is that it's not clear you're getting an entire arc in this section. And they actually did this in Umineko as well. Because in Umineko, in the Witch's Tea Party, was one of the main routes. Like, you had a very short 3 to 4 hour slice that was the quote-unquote story, and then the tea party was like 14 hours long. So, I don't think it's unreasonable. I'm just like, oh, it's a bit annoying they didn't tell me that this was going to be an entire route. I'm enjoying it. I just feel like, I was maybe judging it poorly because of what I was expecting. Like, it's not matching my expectations. I'm still, like, not 100% on board with Kageyaki randomly surviving, but as far as the story goes, if we, I don't know, assume she got sealed away forever, I don't know. Make some bullshit up. Hikaru didn't make it to you alive, and your blade didn't actually kill someone because she'd already bled out, okay? Let's just say, like, the second before your blade connected, she died of her injuries. From what? I don't know. She died from going too fast, causing her existing injuries you caused to... Alright. Kill her. Like, I'm just making shit up, okay? You know, the injuries she'd already taken in her fight with you, she stretched them too far, broke apart, and died, and you're like, oh, I'm depressed. You think it kills the flow? The only thing that kills the flow for me is the fact that your character should be dead. As far as the story, if they'd written it slightly differently, it's fine.
たとえ女官になれるつてがあったとしたって、私は剣になることを選んでた。
Even if I could have had a place at court, I would have chosen to become a tsurugi. Yeah. Actually, she got, like, the best end. She got the best end for Amishi, right? I mean, I guess people are still racist to her, but, like, as far as Amishi goes, since Amishi typically live to be, like, 30 or 40, and then they die of old age, despite the fact that she's been imprisoned for 450-ish years, I mean, she's alive, and she can expect to live for basically forever now. With her mind intact. In a mostly functional body. Of all the people in... Yeah, of all the female leads, she's got such a she's got a good ending so far, right? And, like, if the world wasn't at war, this is actually pretty good. She gets to live 500 years in the future as a mostly normal person who won't die, in theory, right? Like, presumably she can still be killed. We know that's the case. But she's also one of the most powerful tsurugi on the planet. and like she'll just naturally live forever. It seems like a pretty good deal. Like, oh, you'll normally die in 40 years, but if you turn yourself into a suit of power armor, you'll be able to shapeshift back to your normal form. You probably can't have kids, but you'll live forever. Until something kills you. Like, that's pretty good. Not like you can get a disease. I mean, you're a freaking robot. If another route happens, it'll end like shit, or maybe another apocalypse will come or some shit. Maybe. But honestly, I think a lot of people would take that trade. That said, to my knowledge, most Tsurugi don't have their entire mind intact. I mean, we haven't had a lot of focus on the other Tsurugis. It seems like the other legendary suit of armor, Masamune, was mostly intact. And maybe if he was paying attention, he'd have figured out how to shapeshift. But we don't know, because we haven't focused on any other Tsurugi for this long. But, like, that'd be a pretty easy deal for most people, right? Turn yourself into a robot. Transmute yourself into a robot. And live forever instead of dying in like 30 years. Yeah, even if I could have chosen a place at court, I would have chosen to be a Tsurugi.
剣になったからあなたに会え
This path led me to you.
た。それは偶然の巡り合わせだったのかもしれないけれど、二月前なの。
Maybe it's fate, maybe it's random chance,
あ
doesn't
なた
matter.
は
2 months ago,
私のことを
you said you needed me.
必要だって言ってくれたでしょ。
Smiled softly as if admiring a treasure.
だからいいの。
That's all I need.
いろいろなことがあってここまで来た。その過去全部を肯定するなんてできない。間違い
pretend I have no
は数えきれないくらいある。
There's so many things I wish I could take back, but becoming a Tsurugi,
今は
that I know was right.
そうしてよかったって思える。
村正。
Suddenly my heart's pounding, a heat blooms inside of me. Hoping to calm myself, I turn
ど
away.
うしたの？
What's wrong?
いや、
ちょっ
Nothing.
と変。
Something's wrong.
そんなことはない。
No, really.
何考えてるの？
There's something on your mind?
別段。
Nothing.
ふーん。
Mm-hmm.
なんだ
Muramasa?
精神干渉して読んでみようかなって。
Did I poke around inside your head?
やめろ。
Please don't.
冗談よ。そんなことしなくても
I'm
教
joking.
えてくれるものね。
Besides, you're gonna tell me, right?
ごまかそうとしてる。
Now you're looking for an excuse?
あ
Right,
そう。
about what you said.
さっきの話だ。
さっきの？
What I said?
宮中の女官。
Dream to be a lady in waiting? Lies.
あれはもういいって
Forget about that
ば。
already.
お前を朝廷に送り込むのは無理な話だが、
I can't send you to court,
それに近いことを
but I might be able to
疑似
arrange
体
something
験させる程度なら
close
でき
enough.
どういうこと？
What are you talking about?
少し考えがある。
You'll see. Oh no. Oh no, how's this gonna go?
で、
So, if this is a full route, I think we're gonna stop for now. I don't hate that this is a new route, but I do wish I knew this was a new route before I got into this. I was expecting for about half the time I've been sitting here for the end to come. And now it's like now it turns out it's actually a new route. So I guess true ending, full route. Here we go. No complaints. Just kind of wish I knew what I was getting into. We'll continue this one next time.